Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Is my thing on? It was on. All right, now we got it. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Hope everybody had a good New Year. Welcome to the Apostate Ape Debate channel, where we debate Christians up in here. This is the channel you can watch an undereducated hick perform an intellectual takedown of the Christian doctrine and logic for your entertainment. And to make the world a better place, hopefully. Bit of delusional thinking on my part. I just got this feeling, once these Abrahamic religions are gone, the world's going to move on to a better spot. What a drag, man. What a drag. Anyway, we just got the live fired up. Yesterday was a firecracker of a day, weren't it? We always have entertaining days in here, though. And this is the first day, 2026. That's right. That's the year we're in now. We're in a different year. Shit, I thought my thing was breaking a little bit, sorry. But that's a new year. Oh, January 1st. It's cold as shit outside in North Alabama. And we've moved on to another year. The world has went by, time marches on, and here we are. Me either, now that you mentioned that. That was weird, Tiger. Now that you mentioned that, I don't remember hearing any either. It was because it was cold as shit. Ugh. Excuse me. Keep having to sneeze, man. I actually got a cold. I'm doped up on cold medicine right now. I've been dropping Dayquil all morning. You probably saw I got butt rash all under my nose. We're blowing my damn nose all day yesterday. It's freaking rashy and red and sore. Oh, crap. Just a second. I'm blowing up already. Mario, if you are a Christian and requested up on purpose, hang out for like, I don't know, maybe 2 more minutes, and I'll bring you up and we'll talk. Minute and a half, 2 minutes. We're going to let a few more people, usually let 15, 20 people pile up. We'll bring you up, buddy. Get the show rolling. I'm a nice guy. I'm not here to, I don't do shouting matches and name calling matches. I bring the contentious ideas and I go for the juggler up in here, but we ain't looking for 3rd grade arguments in this mug. We like, on my channel, we like highly contentious but civil debates. Man, wish I just sneeze to go away or something. It's annoying as shit. Oh, but anyway, good morning, everybody. Hope y'all didn't party too hard. Maybe I hope you did. Last night. Oh, man, I slept through that shit. Regular night for me, I guess. Oh. All right. Let's get... Right. All right, let's go ahead and bring up Mario this time. Mario Castillo. What Spanish names? Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up? The skies, what's up, my man?
Do I know?
You said what's up, I said the sky.
Oh, I thought you said disguised.
Oh no, I was sorry, I was trying to be funny. But
No worries. I misheard you, so I ruined the joke. That probably was funny.
but I
So
could Yeah, go ahead.
you're over 18, right?
Yeah, I'm 26.
Cool. And you're a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a born again Christian.
Cool, man. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on in 2026?
Okay, well, I could tell you what the Bible says. I can give you historical facts, but honestly, I feel like it would just take too much time. Like, I'll get straight to the point. Like, what do you have to lose, my brother? Like, what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. Like, if you're a Christian, and you believe that he died for you and his blood cleanses you, you're good. You're gonna go to heaven. But you as an atheist, you have nothing to live for. Like you have nothing to lose. Like if I'm wrong, then you die for nothing, right? But if I'm right,
Yeah, if you're wrong, you spent the one life that you know you're getting believing in a ridiculous fairy tale.
okay, but even if I'm wrong, I lived a pretty good life because I learned to forgive others. I learned to love others. I learned to, fast.
I can do that anyway. I don't need a nonsensical book to love people. I love people anyway.
No, but
I'm cool like that.
the morality for atheists is very subjective. They decide what is right and what is wrong. Don't you understand? You know what I mean? Like, because the
Yeah, that's
reason,
what everybody does.
no, because Christians, we know
Oh,
what's right and what is wrong because God tells us what is right and wrong. Under the atheist
oh. So
worldview,
is it wrong to own people as property?
and slaves,
Yeah.
what defines slave?
Someone that's owned as property.
No, it's not wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, God allows that. So
Yeah.
where are you getting this morality from again?
Well, I just said it's fine. I said that's fine.
Oh.
But you,
Oh, you're fine with slavery. Oh, okay.
yeah. Well, you.
Well, I like
well,
my morals way better than yours then.
well, I'm a slave already. I'm a slave to Jesus Christ.
Good for you.
Because if you
I'm a free man. I'll stay that way.
okay, well, in the Bible, Romans 1:1, he literally calls himself a slave of Jesus Christ. Like James says, I'm a slave, verse 1 of chapter 1. You know what I mean? Like when
I'm
people,
talking about actual slaves.
you're thinking of American slavery, like beating and whipping and all that kind.
Chattel slavery, owning people as property. This is permitted in the Bible.
Yeah, it is, of
It
course.
says you can sell your daughter into slavery.
Okay, but you're thinking of like wrong slavery, like beating. Like Jesus is
That's what it says. It says you can beat your slave as long as they don't die within a couple days.
Yeah, but beating in the sense of discipline. Like, do you have kids?
No shit.
Do you have
Is
kids?
that how you get disciplined? They beat the shit out of you?
Well, the Bible says in Psalms 23 verses 13 to 15 that if you have kids, you can discipline them with the rod. That's what it says in the Bible.
Yeah, the Bible wants you to smack your kids. We all know that.
Yeah, of course. So when it comes to beating, it's fine in terms of discipline, not beating out of abuse.
No, you can't beat the shit out of people to discipline them.
No, it's beating out of love.
It's not right. We don't believe that. I don't believe that.
So if your
I
kid,
mean, I'm sure you do, and that's fine, but
yeah, because it's what God tells us to do. You think you're better than God because you decide.
oh, I know I'm better than God. I would
Oh.
never allow slavery if I was God.
Okay, when you stand in front of him on judgment day, you're gonna have to explain to him why you feel that his rules.
I have no problem at all doing that.
Trust me, brother. You won't be acting this way when you're standing in front of Yahweh.
Oh, well.
I'm 100% sure. I know this for a fact because the Bible says people are going to be begging Jesus.
A fact.
It is a fact. People are going to be begging Jesus.
That's a silly belief. It's not a fact.
Okay, but no, it's a fact. I mean, it was a fact in one life.
Well, prove it then.
What's that?
Prove it. You said it's a fact. Prove it. If it's a fact, you can prove it, right?
Yeah, I mean, open your door and look outside.
What am I looking at?
Okay, well, this is why you haven't read the Bible. Romans 1:20 says that we can see God's creation. We can see His invisible attributes. We see it.
Oh, when I look outside, I see nature.
Right. Okay, does nature just randomly come out of nowhere?
No.
Okay, right. So it had to came from somewhere. Who made it?
It didn't come from a magical deity that breathed on stuff.
Okay. If it didn't come from God, where did it come from?
It's natural. That's what nature means. It came naturally.
Like it randomly all of a sudden just came out of nowhere?
No, it's always been here. Energy can't be created or destroyed. There's always been energy or matter, probably in the form of some kind of quantum field.
Okay, where do you get that from?
Physics?
No, physics. Physics is just the study of movements. That's not the study of existence. It doesn't show that. So where do you get this from?
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Physics. Yes, it does.
What kind of physics? There's different physics, like quantum physics.
You've never heard of quantum fields?
Quantum fields? What do you mean? What is quantum fields?
Yeah, you've never heard of like Big Bang, Big Crunch cosmology? Like,
that's not even.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've never even heard of this stuff. Like, it's not surprising. You wouldn't
it's
know
a theory. It's a theory. That's not even proven. It literally says theory in the.
Do you know what a theory is?
Yeah, it's just something that could be proven true, but it's not. It's a theory.
Do you know what a scientific theory is?
Yeah, it's a study of observable, testable to make something of a claim, but it's not. It's just an observable study.
That is not what the scientific theory.
That is, you're
definition
observing
is.
something
It's
and
not.
you're coming to a conclusion using the stuff you
Nope.
can see. Yes, you
Nope.
can. That is.
You want me to look it up for you?
You have to look it up.
What? A scientific theory is defined as an explanation of a body of facts that were found and proven through repeatable testing and observation. So you got some of that right. You just changed it where you needed it to fit your narrative a little better there. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. What happened here? I don't know what happened. Oh, good morning, everybody. I don't know why he dropped. I guess he realized he got caught in a lie there. What is a quantum field? I don't know what that is. I know it don't exist, though. I know it's a bunch of bullshit. That's all I know. If it's not Jesus, it's BS. Right. So, man, conversations devolve quick, don't they? Well, that was the first conversation of 2026. I'll take it. Lady of Heaven, what's up? That's a cool ass name, by the way. What is up, all y'all? Good morning. I wasn't too sure if a bunch of folks was going to jump on this morning. I thought that about yesterday and Christmas too, but they were awesome shows. So here we are today, the first day of the year. Yeah. Yeah, if I was picking conversations, I guess it would be that one. Queen, what's up? Qualia, what's going on with you? I see you all over the place now. We're kindred TikTok spirits, I believe. Jesus' love and grace fulfills all. Alrighty. Okay, well, we got 3 guests rating right now. Morning Servant, morning Jersey, morning Jesse. Let's try, I think Jesse was first and then Jersey. Jesse is not here anymore, I don't think. I have to give it a second though, because I get lagged all the fucking time. I hate how redundant you have to be on TikTok. You gotta tell people to keep tapping the screen all the time. I prefer not to do all these things, but it is demanded of us, is it not? Thank you for the hearts, by the way. I appreciate those. I appreciate all the gifts. Gifts are definitely the best way to support the channel. But you can also support the channel just by being here. Tapping the screen, throw a comment every now and then. All these things help immensely. Alright. Trying the next one. Rick, what's up, my man? Did y'all party hard last night? Not too hard, I guess. You're up pretty early. Thank you. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate y'all. Undoubtedly, we'll have another killer show today. We've had a first guest already. It was a wild thing. Damn it, what's happening to the queue here? I can't read what it says. Read what says my board here. It says, debate a former Christian. 1, Jesus is a delusional man who fulfills 0 prophecy. 2 is God is an unjust narcissist. Thank you for the heart. And 3, Christians are under the law and sinners do not know God. This is all scriptural. Didn't they, ladies? Yeah, they did. Ghost, what's up, buddy? Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, y'all. Let's make it a good one. This is day number 57 in a row of streaming. So I've done, this is my 102nd stream, and it's my 57th in a row, which is pretty crazy. What's not biblical? Y'all can come up and talk instead of being TikTok. You can't even barely put a damn sentence in this shit, y'all. Like, come up and talk. It's hard to communicate in TikTok comments. Ghost Talker Gaming. I started playing Ghost of Yotai last night. It's pretty good so far. I've only played it about an hour. I don't get to play a lot. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, though, and that's about the only time I play is when I wake up in the middle of the night. Alright. Let's try. What's that say? what's happening. H2O. I think your signal's really bad. If you request it up on purpose, try it again, and I'll bring you back up. Move to a little better signal or something. Why you reject Christ? Because this book wrote about him is a bunch of nonsense. I see no reason to believe it. And unjustified anger and greed and sloth. All right. Yeah, if y'all, just as a reminder, if you're addressing your comment to me, put, I don't know, put ape in front of it or add ape or something, host or something. I don't know. But sometimes I can't tell if people's talking to me or talking to somebody else. And yes, please, everyone share if you don't mind. Share us out. Tap that screen. Throw some, dang, almost 5,000 likes already. Only been on a minute. We've already had one guest. It wasn't too bad. He dropped out when he realized his definition was severely wrong of a scientific theory. Appreciate the follow. Y'all, the channel is absolutely exploding in growth. It's crazy. You have chosen a life of sin. That's right. I am a sinner. I love to sin. Sin is transgression of the law. Sin is breaking the law. So when the law tells me that I'm supposed to throw rocks at somebody until they unalive because they thought about going to other gods or entice me to one, I delight in breaking the law by not unaliving them. So I love to sin by saving lives. Let's see. Appreciate the follow, Kimchi. My wife loves that stuff. That is what you are full of. That's scary. Yeah. You were never a Christian. It's amazing how often do they say that. You were never a Christian. Crap. I don't know what's happening in the Q's going berserk on me. Oh, Happy New Year, everybody. By realizing that it's nonsense, that's all. Actually studying the Bible's why I left. Then I got super mad at God when I still thought he was real because of all this horrible, evil shit he does to people in this book. It's absolutely atrocious. No excuse for it. It's not justice. It's not love. It's pure, unbridled evil and narcissism. I know it's hard to hear, but yeah, I hear you, big boss. That's what you all say. You've clearly never read Hebrews 6. All right, let's try this one here. Where's it go? Where's the stack? Oh, it's at the bottom. Let's see, Siji. Siji, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up? Are you over 18?
Sorry, what was that? There's a weird bird that just keeps like cawing in the woods by my house. So
Don't let that distract you too bad.
it's a little
Are
intrusive.
you over 18?
Yeah.
Morning, Mommy.
Yes, I'm 36.
Cool. And you're a Christian?
I'm not. The reason why
we're just looking to debate Christians in here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't mean to impede on your space.
No problem
the reason
at
why
all. No problem at all. Here, I'll drop you back. But yeah, we just debate Christians in here. We don't. There's usually plenty to talk to. Let's see. Who's that? Disciple, are you there?
Yeah, you say you debate Christians?
Yeah, you're over 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Are you one of the Christians?
Yeah.
Cool. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on here?
I don't know, but I'm a Christian, so pick one.
Well, I mean, I can pick one if you want, but I prefer you pick one. Like, which one do you feel the strongest about here?
Well, I don't know. But you just pick one. I'll do it.
Okay. How about God is an unjust narcissist?
Okay. Can I pick a different one?
Well, you told me to pick.
Well, are you an agnostic or an atheist?
I'm an atheist now.
So, you believe in the Big Bang, or what do you believe in?
I believe the Bible is false.
Do you believe in the Big Bang?
I believe the Bible's false. I don't even know what a Big Bang is.
Oh, okay. So, like, what created everything?
No clue. But the God of the Bible definitely didn't do it.
So, but where's your starting point?
I don't have one.
And that's where you are an agnostic.
No, I'm not. I don't believe in any God, so I'm an atheist.
Well, let's one at a time.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So, at the very beginning of life, you don't know.
Wow, somebody in the comments, just big boss, just admitted atheists have more faith than Christians. Wow. Holy shit. Bro, if the heathens got more faith than you got a lot of work to do. Holy crap. Wow, had no idea we had more faith than Christians. Anyway, go ahead, disciple. Sorry. I was blown away by that comment there.
Well, this is the major question that you need to answer.
What?
What happened at the very beginning?
Beginning of what?
Life.
No clue.
So what are you arguing?
That the Bible's false. That the God is a narcissist and unjust. I don't know anything but that.
Yeah, but you have to figure out if you believe in God or not.
I don't believe in God. This is the only God I ever believed in. So when I dropped the belief in this God, that left 0 gods. So I'm an atheist now.
No, but you have to understand why.
I do understand. I know why I think what I think.
Why do you not believe in God?
Because the Bible is false.
Just because?
Yeah.
Brother, listen to me. You have to answer this first question.
Okay.
You understand that? Listen.
I'm listening.
What happened at the Big Bang?
I have no clue. I don't even know what a Big Bang is. Do you think you could argue that your book's true and stop talking about stuff I've never heard of?
Well, of course I can, but we
Well,
have
could we
to.
do that? That's what this channel's for. I debate Christians about Christianity. I don't
Well,
argue about
you
shotguns
don't.
and going
You
off in
don't
Big Bangs.
know anything about Christians.
Yeah, dude. I was one for almost 30 years.
Yeah, it doesn't even mean anything unless you understand where you come from. You don't
I
understand
came
where
from
you
my
come
parents.
from.
I came from my parents.
I understand
I know
that.
where we didn't come from. We didn't come from dirt being breathed on by a magical deity.
Okay.
I don't need to know what a Big Bang is to know that's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that is your starting point that you need to understand.
What is?
What happened at that Big Bang?
Yeah. How many times do I need to tell you? I've never even heard of that.
That you don't know?
Can we talk about Christianity? Can you defend your faith or not? We got
Yeah,
other people
but
that want to come up and
but
actually debate. Like I
it,
don't even know what we're
it's
talking
like
about.
it's like throwing rocks at a wall, right? So what do you want to talk
No, not
about?
right. What are we talking about? I want to talk about Christianity.
Yeah, but I know all
You
about.
told me to pick one of these categories. I picked it, and then you said, no, we can't do that one, and then started going on about
Yeah, but
a big
listen to
stain.
me. Listen to me. I know so much about that, but you don't even know step 1.
Okay, so is that a no? We'll just move on to the next person.
No. Wait up. You want to talk
Look,
about Christianity, right?
yeah, say
Christianity, right?
yeah, say something about that, or I'm going to move on to the next person.
What part of Christianity do you want to know?
God is an unjust narcissist. Jesus fulfills zero prophecy, and Christians are under the law.
Zero prophecy. Like,
Zero.
do you have a Bible?
Yeah.
Okay, Isaiah 9:6.
Yep, that's about Hezekiah.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because
Yes, it is. The
Okay.
name Hezekiah means mighty God.
listen, what happened after, the Dead Sea Scrolls?
What?
Dead Sea Scrolls.
What about them?
They uncovered a lot of information, correct?
Bro, I don't even know what we're talking about here.
Dead Sea Scrolls?
Are we talking about Isaiah or what?
Dead Sea Scrolls.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move on, buddy. I don't know if you're drunk or what, or can't follow simple logic here, but this is unbelievably bad. 2026 is not starting with a bang. Or maybe it is. I don't know. You believe in macroevolution and the multiverse. Macaroni evolution? What? I don't know what any of these Christians are talking about today, y'all. I don't know why they can't just defend their faith. Alright. Talked to you before. Alright, let's try Jerry here. Mr. Jerry's got us.
Oh, I had a question for that one dude that was up. I'm like, if a Christian unalive someone, does that make him a Christian?
No idea, man. We just debate Christians in here, though. Maybe direct that into the comments or something there. Was that a win? I didn't feel like it was. I didn't feel like we got anywhere, but we'll take it. W's a W, ain't it? Hey, I won an award for tattooing one time. I got second place in a for a big old chess piece, right? And there was only 2 people in the in the whole contest. So I had a trophy sitting on my thing when I come back. And I said, "Shit, a W is a W." Why do you stop believing in God? Does it stop making sense? I questioned it, man. Questioned it. World to fire. Why do I feel like that's I have extreme caution in bringing that one up there. Hold on a second. Big boss. Come on, man. This is why everybody thinks y'all are silly. Y'all out here telling everybody what they think. Show us where these crystal balls and mind reading powers y'all got from. Maybe. World of Fire, were you a Christian? For some reason, I feel like I've talked to you before and it didn't go well. But I could be totally wrong, too. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But okay, cool. All right. We'll try World of Fire, but I feel like, I don't know. Maybe it was somewhere cool. I ain't sure. We'll find out. You get another chance either way because I don't remember nothing. All right.
Hey there, buddy.
World of Fire, are you there? Hey, what's up, man?
I talked to you one time before, I think a few times.
Oh, cool, cool. You're over 18 and a Christian then, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm 45.
It's a good age. So, which one of these you want to debate us on today?
All right, cool. Let's see here. And one was a former Christian. Here's a good one. And I understand this too, because I also talked to the Bible guy. He's an atheist as well. Talked to him very much. So we have great conversations, by the way. You said
That's cool.
Jesus fulfilled 0 prophecies, which I agreed with him on. If the New Testament was to be excluded, would you agree?
Wait, what?
Jesus fulfilled 0 prophecies, according to your prompt there. But that could only be achieved by excluding the New Testament. Would you agree?
What do you mean by excluding it?
As a historical document, say you would be saying that the New Testament would be false.
I'm not totally sure what you mean by that still.
Well,
I mean, I think it was false, if that's what you're asking me, but I'm not sure. I felt like you're meaning something else, and I don't understand.
okay, no. For example, in order, for example, the New Testament writers wrote down that these prophecies were fulfilled, and
Yeah.
they wrote this down. So, if in order for in other words, if these Jewish authors, particularly speaking, I'll just use Paul for example, the most undebatable. He's not really debated. A Jewish writer of the Christian era. Saying that these prophecies were fulfilled, so forth, so on. If you exclude that, then yes, they wouldn't pertain to Jesus. But if they were pertaining to Jesus and what he said was wrote down, and it could be concluded historically that these things did happen, it would be true, right?
If he actually fulfilled them, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Second thing is, to that reference there, I would say that, of course, for a prophecy to be fulfilled, miracles would have to be correct.
Say that last part again.
For prophecies to be fulfilled, especially we're talking about religious ones, in the means of that which is owed to God, miracles would have to be able to occur, right?
No, not necessarily.
Well, a prophecy is by definition part of a miracle, right?
Well, if you consider God talking a miracle, then yeah. But
Yeah.
like just riding a donkey into Jerusalem and being a king, that's not. There's nothing supernatural about that.
Oh no, I agree with you. Well, what I would mean mainly by miracle is specifically speaking pertaining to a virgin birth and a prophecy of that being related to prophecy. Of
Yeah,
virgin
that would
birth.
be a miracle, and that definitely didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would have to be a miracle and it would have to be a prophecy fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool beans. So on those two notes, you would have to have evidence to support that. For example, we talked a lot about Josephus, very controversial topic in that point in time, whether or not he was the Messiah or not, so forth, so on. So what I have to say is that in order for also in the rule and law of logic, we would say the simplest answer is the easiest one. So we don't debate actually whether or not it's true or not. We're debating about what the simplest answer is. If the simplest answer is that what the authors wrote down is true, then logically you would say it's true. But if you say the simplest answer is to say what they wrote down wasn't true, which means there'd be evidence against it, you would have to say that it's not true. So I would agree with you with that. But I would say is that historically speaking, all the way down when we talk about the writings of Paul, and we talk particularly which are undebated, and we talk about, say, Josephus and Tacitus and so forth, so on. We talk about the external sources that point to the reliability of the New Testament scholars. I could actually say that the evidence to me weighs personally on the evidence that the simplest answer is that these things happened.
So you think the simplest explanation is that a miracle happened and Jesus was born from a virgin?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, where's there even a prophecy about that?
Well, the New Testament, like I said, now that it has authority, the simplest answer in that being authority is dictates and says that he was born from a virgin. Particularly, I'll refer to Luke here and Matthew. Matthew actually uses the word virgin, whereas the old Hebrew does not.
They say that, but exactly. So there's not even a prophecy about this. So.
Well, there was. I don't
think the simplest answer that a miracle happened to fulfill a prophecy that's not even a prophecy in the Bible.
Well, in the book of Matthew, it's referring to a prophecy.
Yeah, but Matthew don't know what he's talking about in a single instance that he says one of these prophecies are fulfilled. Some of them aren't even there. They're not even in the Bible.
Well, what I'm saying is that when Matthew's speaking, he quotes it verbatim from the Septuagint.
We don't quote it verbatim. He changes the words.
No, he used the Septuagint. You can look up Septuagint.
Oh, well, yeah, you'd be right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
no, I got you. I understand. That was my bad on that one.
Yeah, and I'd say historically Luke.
So not from the Hebrew. Though.
Right, correct. And the reason why I would say the Septuagint holds weight.
Correct myself there.
No, it's okay. The reason why I would say the Septuagint holds weight and it holds water is because it was written by Jewish people, by Jewish scholars, by Hebraic thought. So that's why I would say that it holds mindset. But I think that actually not Matthew is not the best version that gives the account of why it's literally a virgin and so forth. So on. I actually believe it's Luke, where Luke not only tells you the word.
Yeah, but in the actual Hebrew, it doesn't say any of this.
It's not
what it's about. Contextually, it has nothing to do with the Messiah, though.
Well, right. But the New Testament scholars are linking it to that.
Emmanuel is Isaiah's son.
Right. But
I know, but they're wrong.
Well, that's what to be argued. Why? What makes them wrong?
Because contextually, it don't have anything to do with what they're saying it does, so it can't be right.
Okay. Contextually, for example, you can have things that have double meanings, something that speaks about then and today at the same time. We use these things all the time.
Well, why would I read Isaiah 7 and think that has anything to do with the double meaning and not what it's talking about?
Well, that goes back into also you talk about the idea of spirituality, which, well, not spirituality. Kind of, but I would say the idea of when you take in the idea of miracles, if miracles exist and prophecies exist in miracles, for example, virgin birth, we're talking about here. So for someone, that means there's an intelligent living thing out there that has created us and is speaking to us in deeper meanings, which are revealed therein. For example, the book of Hebrews explains this fluently, I believe, Clement. But anyway, long story
short. So how do you derive any kind of meaning about Jesus from the context of Isaiah 7?
By itself, you couldn't until it was revealed later on. That's why it was written later on.
Yeah, until other people made up a second meaning for it that don't have nothing to do with the actual context, right?
Well, I would say this, though. If that's true what you said, I would grant you that would be the truth. But I would say the evidence to me personally...
It is the truth. I think we can demonstrate that.
Well, absolutely. Do you mean that in an absolute sense of truth?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I want to hear your syllogism here in a second, but let me finish this point right here. First of all, I would like to say that at that point in time, when we talk about the idea of the weight of the New Testament writers, historically speaking, they all, if you were to say they made these things up, I don't know of anybody who would die the way they died for a lie that they knew they were writing up.
People die for dumb shit all the time.
Oh, truth, but it's in belief, not a lie.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing's true just because somebody died for it.
Right, but people don't die for lies.
You ever heard of Heaven's Gate cult?
Yeah, but they believed it. If you're saying that the New Testament writers wrote these things false, full of lies, that doesn't, it's not human logic.
Well, I'm saying whether it was a lie or they legitimately believed it or not, just because they died doesn't make it true. People die for false things all the time.
Right, but you'd have to conclude that they wrote these things down falsely in the manner in which they meant to deceive.
Who are you talking about that even died for this?
Let's see. We'll talk about Matthew, Barnabas, Luke, John. One of them was skinned alive. One was beheaded. One was burned. One was dragged through the John Mark. Tertullian. You can read about. Excuse me. I'll do this.
Oh,
the book is
Tertullian isn't in the Bible.
Well, no. Hold on. We're talking about historically speaking about what happened to the authors of the New Testament. Now, that's historically the most reliable.
Nobody actually knows any of that.
Yeah, actually, Eusebius' Ecclesiastical History is one of the best sources we could use.
The Bible mentions like the death of one or two of these people, and theirs are extremely questionable.
What I'm saying is that Eusebius' Ecclesiastical History gives you the complete breakdown of one of the best historical accounts of the church you can get. That and Martyr's Mirror.
That's a traditional account, not a historical one.
No, that's historical. I would definitely argue that one because no one refutes that.
No, I refute it.
Oh, true. And I guess that's our debate right now, right?
It's all church tradition, just like the authors of the Gospels. You know what I mean?
Well, no. These people lived at different times in different places. For example, what's the name?
Yeah. Well, let's get back to Isaiah 7 here. I feel like we've drifted away from this.
Well, okay, maybe we did a little bit, so we'll get back to that. Whatever. Now, when we talk about
however they die is not going to prove anything anyway. So.
Well, correct, but it would state that all of these people did not die because they did something for a deceitful reason.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I can grant that they believed it and died for it. It doesn't
Okay.
mean it's true, though.
I agreed, and I agree with you on that. What would say is that they wrote these things down in whether or not we believe they're true or not would be irrelevant. But what we would say is that they wrote them down believing that what they were writing down was true. These New Testament authors, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, but specifically speaking, Paul. And what I love about Paul is Paul speaks about these things, including a resurrection. And no one denies this. Matter of fact, when you go in, even when you read Acts, and it speaks about Paul and what he in his reference towards here, we can go back literally there today, this day in Athens, and go look in the Areopagus and
Are
go
we talking
see
about
what's
Isaiah
pointing.
7?
I'm sorry.
Are we talking about Isaiah 7?
Yeah, because I'm talking about the Christian belief and what they believed about Isaiah, which speaks about him being born of a virgin. And this was particularly about the coming Messiah, that Paul, early Christians, believed that he was a Messiah. They died for
Never
it.
says Messiah anywhere. It never says this child's going to be a Messiah. Nothing. In fact, it says this is Isaiah's son.
Agreed with you, that's Isaiah speaking of Isaiah's son. But it's also talking about something else greater and bigger, which is that to come. As a matter of fact,
Show us why you think that contextually.
Contextually, all right, contextually, pertaining to this, there's many times in the Torah in which it speaks about things in a double meaning. Meaning it would also speak of, says,
So,
but of his seed, up to the stars of heaven, and it was talking about something else. It was talking about something else, but it was also talking about Abraham's offspring, Judah. It was also talking about Israel. Israel is also in reference towards a person. Israel is also in reference towards a one single person. It can mean two things, and they don't contradict one another.
you talking about Jacob?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Jacob.
but that's all it is. Jacob started Israel, so when it refers to Israel, the nation, that's all it's ever talking about.
Does it
If it's
ever
talking
refer
about
to Jacob?
It says Jacob.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What'd you say?
I was just saying, go ahead. It was
Okay,
important.
I was gonna say, can you ever point to a time there where Jacob is called Israel himself?
Yeah, they changed his name to Israel.
Cool. Does it ever refer to Israel as a nation of many people?
Yeah.
Cool. It refers to two things and them not contradicting one another at the same time. It's a mystery
Right,
or
but
paradox.
it don't mean something else 1,000 years later because somebody else says it means something else.
I agree with you. Just because of in the reference in which you just said it, that would be agreed upon. I absolutely agree with you with that. But in the reference towards this is historically speaking that the early Christians wrote these things, believed these things, and these things did have double meanings. Also, for example, miracles, so forth, so on. As speaking of whatever would have to be also added into whether or not you believe them happen or not. But we can say what they wrote down as him being the Messiah, born of a virgin, and dying on a cross and resurrecting is something that historically is not denied that early Christians believed. And historically, it's not refuted that Christians believe this.
Yeah, I'm not refuting that you believe it. I'm just saying there's no reason to believe it. It's based on a bunch of false narratives.
Well, not me particularly. Yes, me as well, but not me particularly as when I'm speaking here. I'm talking about the authors of these books wrote this and believed this, and they were Jews.
Well, that's fine, but I'm totally lost in what we're talking about now.
Okay, sorry. I was just we were talking about prophecy basically, and that was referencing towards what they believed.
I'm trying to figure out why in the world Isaiah 7 would mean anything but what it's talking about.
Because you have to put it in the light of the idea of that first miracles, and two, if miracles can happen, therefore prophecies and miracles can be happen as well. And
you're going to have to prove a miracle can happen if you're going to try to use miracles in an argument.
Oh, I was just referring to the fact that logically you can't disprove it. And of course, I agree with you. The argument is the same. What you can prove without evidence, you can disprove without evidence.
That's not how it works, though.
But well, I'm kind of explaining that one there. But I would say that historically, if I go by the historical evidence, that Paul believed no matter what, and all the early Christians which died for it, they died for this thing which they believed that Jesus, one miracle, resurrected from the dead. And unrefuted even by Josephus that he crucified.
Dude, I'm so lost here. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Okay. I'll tell you what, let me move on to one more thing here and I'll step out the way, okay?
Yeah, No.
All right. How about God is an unjust narcissist? That one?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Is narcissism real quick question. I don't suspect you do, but do you believe in a moral absolute law that governs over all of humanity regardless of human race, creed, or gender?
No.
Okay, cool. Didn't think so, but because of that, it leads into this. Do you believe it is morally wrong then, absolutely morally wrong for God to be a narcissist?
I think it's wrong for anybody to be a narcissist.
But not absolutely wrong, right?
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if it's not absolutely wrong for God to
I have
be,
no idea what that means.
well, it was pertaining towards
If it's wrong, it's wrong. Absolute ain't got nothing to do with it. If he's a narcissist, he's a narcissist. Whether he's an absolute narcissist is neither here nor there.
well, his thing. Are you claiming to believe in an absolute?
No.
Okay, then he's not absolutely wrong for being a narcissist.
I do think there's absolutely true, but I'm still saying this God's an unjust narcissist.
So you do believe in absolute truth, though, right?
No. Well, some of them, yeah. Like if you don't eat, you die, you're gonna die, then yeah, that's an absolute truth. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that. See, there is an absolute you do believe in, which is cool. I find that very logical. So, on that note, if God is a narcissist, how could we prove that it's wrong for him to be a narcissist? What makes it wrong for him to be a narcissist?
That he's not supposed to be one.
He's not supposed to be one. Okay.
That's not how he's represented in Christianity. He's represented as an all-knowing, all-loving, all-powerful, merciful deity. But there's verses all through the Old Testament that say things like he slaughters without mercy.
Oh,
So,
no. I
kind
totally
of defeats that one.
You're going down a path in which I was just about to say. You also know that it says he is all just, right? He holds all
Yeah, that's
adjudication.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Right, all just.
Yeah.
In other words, matter of fact, he says they will bow down to the slaughter. They will taste the edge of the sword. He will smash them like wine grapes in the press. Their blood will spatter his garments.
Yeah, he makes people eat their own kids. He has babies dashed to pieces and women raped. Like this isn't just or anything else. It's evil narcissism.
His thing. I wouldn't say he had any babies. You got to go. There's a good one there where he talks about going in and slaughtering all those things, and nor could I explain this. But here's the idea.
Quite a bunch of them, actually.
No, there is. But what I would say is that what makes something if you could do me a favor real quick, because I don't have my computer here or anything. What is the definition of narcissist, please?
Just somebody who's extremely self-centered and has a vastly overinflated self-sense of importance.
Overinflated, right? Like it's unjust, right? A sense of importance, right?
Well, justice is separate. Like I'm saying narcissist because God literally says all through the Old Testament, he does all this for his own sake, like for his own glory. Like he don't give a shit about anybody.
Right. But here's the idea though. I would say, I wouldn't believe it would be narcissism. I would actually believe that nor could I explain, because we're talking about the idea of absolute morality. We're talking about what is the problem of evil? It's the philosophical concept of the problem of evil is actually what we're talking about here. Is God capable of doing evil?
No.
Is that in the Christian, Judeo-Christian?
Obviously.
Right?
Well, he is. Christians might not accept that, but he does.
Well, his thing, yeah. Well, he says, what is evil? I would say anything that is opposed to that which is God. So therefore, he cannot contradict himself.
That's not how I would define evil.
But that's what it is, though, in Judeo-Christian terms.
No.
In the Bible.
Well, maybe in Judeo-Christian terms, but y'all seem to have a lot of definitions mixed up.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the same thing. Is like if something is all good,
that definition could only ever apply to Christians, not everybody in a general sense.
Well. Here's the idea. Let me put it in more of explanation. This is a true story in 2019, a violation happened against a person of 17 months, and they were killed. And it happened in Richmond, Virginia. And
Hey, sorry, man. We can't. The wording's going really bad there for TikTok. We can't. Nothing disproves the Bible. The Bible disproves the Bible, man. Yeah, no thanks. Sorry, man. We can't. That, I'm just totally lost. Like, it was really, really hard to stay on track there in that conversation. Like, I'm not even. Appreciate the follow there. Where we at today? 12 new followers already. Not even been an hour yet. Already had 1,000 people come through. It's pretty amazing. Y'all kicking ass on the first day of the year. It's going good. 16,000 likes. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. And yeah, science does disprove the Bible. Science proves we evolved from animals, not that we were wadded up into a ball of clay and breathed on. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. Eric, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians?
I believe I subscribe to Judeo-Christian beliefs. I don't really call myself a Christian directly, but I believe in the Bible and what's in it.
Okay, cool. Well, which one of these topics you want to debate us on here?
Well, I think they're all pretty crazy.
Are they?
We'll start with number 2. God is an unjust narcissist. That's insane to me. I don't know how you reach that, or what premises are you using to say he's a narcissist?
Because a narcissist is somebody who's extremely self-centered, right?
Well, yeah.
That's the definition of a narcissist.
Well, if you're the creator of everything in the universe, then by default you are literally that center. So
No,
you have to be
being self-centered doesn't mean you are the center. Being self-centered is something different.
No, think about it. You're literally the substance of everything that exists. If you believe in God at face value,
I mean, whatever. It still fits the definition of a narcissist there.
Yeah, but you make it seem like it's a bad thing when it's not. It's just a reality.
Being a narcissist isn't a bad thing.
The true definition of let's define a narcissist. A true definition of a narcissist is a person. No, I'm going to do it better. The true definition of a narcissist is someone who thinks they are the center of everything. The think part is the component.
Yeah, that is better.
So because they think that they are and they are not, that's where the disconnect happens, because there's a delusional component where someone is slightly delusional. With God, he doesn't think it. It's a reality if we take it as being true. So he's not a narcissist. It's impossible for him to be a narcissist because by definition, he is the center of everything, of all existence.
So he still does everything for his own power and glory and his own name.
Yeah, because there's nothing else. There's nothing outside of him.
There's a whole bunch of other people in the whole world here. It's not all about him.
Well, it is, because if there's nothing, okay, so think about it like this. There's nothing else. If what he says about himself is true, we'll have to make these assumptions. If what he says about himself is true, that there are no other gods other than him at the highest hierarchy, there's nothing
he
else.
never says that.
Well, he does say that.
No, he don't. You never heard of Baal?
He says above him. I said hierarchy. So that means that any other thing, deity or entity, would be below him. So I use the word hierarchy for a reason. So there's no one above him, meaning out of all existence, he's it. He searched the whole.
He's the ultimate narcissist. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't think he's the center. He is the center. So he's not a narcissist.
But he thinks he's the center too. He says he does everything. He said he made the Israelites for his own glory.
Yeah, that makes him narcissist. It's like saying I made an apple pie.
Yeah, that makes him a narcissist.
That makes him a narcissist. So if I made an apple pie for my own
people so he has people to worship him.
I made an apple pie for my own satisfaction.
That's the definition.
That makes me a narcissist because I made an apple pie for my own glory, for my own satisfaction.
That's
I'm
now
proud
that's not the
of
same.
I'm proud of my ability to make apple pie. I'm the best apple pie maker there is. I made this apple pie for my
That's
own
being
glory.
confident, not a
That-
narcissist. You're
well, then
confusing
what's the
definitions.
difference? We're talking about a God level
A
being.
narcissist
So he
is someone
created-
who's extremely self-centered.
who thinks
That's a
they
way
are
you act.
the center of everything. You can't leave
Yeah,
that part
God
out.
thinks that. Yeah, God thinks that.
The key word is thinks.
Yeah, God thinks that. He says he does everything for his own
No,
glory. It's the only reason he does
But he-
anything. He don't do anything for anybody but him. That's a narcissist.
Well, first of all, that's not true. That's a story. That's not
Yes,
true at
it
all.
is.
You say he doesn't do anything
Yes, it
for
is. It says
anybody but him. That's
It says
totally
it.
false.
It says it.
It does not say that. Anywhere in the Bible he says he does
How much you
nothing
want to
but
bet?
for himself.
How much you want to bet? How much you
Well,
want to bet?
look, I'm not.
How much money
I'm
you
not
got?
gonna make a. I'm not a betting man because I don't believe in
Oh.
betting. But you could.
Oh, okay.
You could dig
That's
through
good
there
to
and find whatever scriptures you want to support such a statement, but you won't.
Yeah, well,
Okay, go for it.
I'm not making this up out of thin air. I can read you where it says, "For my own sake, I do all this." Like he says it over and over and over again.
Okay, but that has nothing to do. Okay, so how can he say so when he shows love and compassion and he says, I suffer that someone does something, he's saying, okay, I don't have to do this, but I'm doing it before your
Shows love
sake.
and compassion. When he gets mad, he dashes babies to pieces and has women raped.
Well, first of all, he hasn't dashed any babies to pieces. Humans have done that. Let's just
Oh
get
my
that
God!
straight.
Have you even read this book?
Have you read this book? Where does it say God?
Yeah, I have.
He
That's
hasn't picked up a single baby and dashed a single child. Not one.
Bullshit.
Humans have done it.
Bullshit.
Humans
You
have
need
done
to
it.
read your book, buddy.
You
and I'm
read it.
about to read it.
You
too.
can't
No,
fuck.
I am going to read it. I'm going to read it to you, and then you're going to admit that your God is a baby basher. I know you think it's hilarious. But,
I do
the
because
book
he
says
look.
it, buddy.
I know what scripture you're referring to. I'm telling you that
Which
he
one?
didn't do it.
Which one? Which
I
one?
know what you're talking about. I don't know the exact chapter.
Which
and verse,
one?
but
Oh,
I know
okay,
where he
yeah,
talks
that's
about
cool.
happily.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't say it.
He says happily. He says happily they will. He didn't say he. He said happily they will. Who is they? Someone else.
God made these things happen.
He didn't make. Look, man.
Yes, he does.
Look,
You
wait,
are so
wait.
in denial,
Look.
it's ridiculous. This is
Okay,
what
wait.
Christians do. Y'all come up here and laugh at everybody else when you haven't
But
even
I'm
read
laughing
your own book.
because the accusations that are made.
It's all right.
that-
We're about to read it all, and you're going to look like the idiot you're making yourself out to look like.
No. This is fun to me.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
bet
let
it
you
is.
set the stage, and then I'm gonna pull one little card and let
It's
it
fun
all
to me,
fall
too.
down. But you go ahead.
Yep. So you want me to show you where your God orders that babies be bashed to pieces and women raped?
Go for it. It doesn't matter.
So when I showed you this, you're going to admit you were wrong and
No.
your God's a baby killer.
I
right?
already know what you're. I already know ahead of time where you're going with it.
Okay, then tell me what I'm going to read.
I already know what you're gonna say. Where?
What is it? Tell us.
First
Tell
of
us,
all-
Mr. Crystal Ball.
Look, all I can tell you is this: is that in
Tell
wartime,
us where
if
we're
there's a
gonna read
war,
that.
hold up.
Answer my
we
question.
know
Stop talking. Answer my question, and then you can say something else.
it's a wartime
What am I gonna
situation.
read?
You understand that, right?
What am I going to read?
But go ahead.
It's all about war times.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What are you talking? What am I going to read?
Go ahead. I don't know, man. You got it. Go ahead. Go ahead and read it.
You said you did know, so
I'm-
were you lying?
No,
Were you
I'm
talking
not.
out of your ass?
I'm
Which
not
one was it?
lying. I told you I'm familiar with the scripture. I already told you I can't.
So
give
you were just
chapter
talking out of
and
your
verse.
ass, right?
No, I told you earlier I couldn't give you chapter
Yeah.
and
So
verse.
you know what I'm
familiar
talking
with the
about, but you
scripture.
don't know what I'm talking about. You are talking out of your
I
ass.
know
and
exactly
everybody
the
here knows.
scripture. That's just like saying I know
Then
where.
tell us exactly what the scripture is.
That's like saying.
You're just lying.
That's
over
like
and
saying,
over
give
and
me-
over
that's
again.
like saying, give me
you are
directions
putting
to a
the
store.
ignorance of Christianity on full display here for us. We love
That's
it.
man.
This
Go
is the
ahead.
First day of the year.
Okay, well, let's do it. I'm waiting for you
Tell
to
me
read
what
the
I'm gonna
scripture.
read.
Go
Tell me
ahead,
what I'm
read
gonna
it.
read. Tell me what I'm going to read.
Man, read the scripture.
Tell me.
You claim you got this smoking gun. Would you,
You
shoot
claim
it?
you know what I'm already going to read.
Pull the
so
trigger
tell
on
us,
this
big
thing,
boy.
man. Say the
Tell us,
scripture.
big boy. Tell us.
You want to sit here and do
You are
this?
so full of it. It's ridiculous.
No.
You know how many people I've talked on here? You are more full of it than anybody I've ever talked to on
waiting.
the show. And
Oh, oh.
that's saying a lot, man.
You're scared to say the scripture now?
I'm not scared
Are you
to say
afraid?
shit. I'm asking you to
Well,
back
say
up the
it.
bullshit that you are saying, and you're not doing it. You are running like a little baby, and it's horrible.
You put this up here that God was a narcissist, not me. I'm telling
Yeah.
you that that's not true. You're the one
I'm
talking
telling
junk.
you it is.
You got
and
all
I'm
of
the
this
one who has
nonsense
stuff to
up
back
here
it up.
on your
Like everybody knows
page,
you're the one who's full of nonsense here.
and I'm ready for you
So,
to prove these things.
all
You
right.
said God is a
I,
narcissist. I'm telling
I'm
you he's
ready
not.
for
Prove
you
it.
to back up what you were saying. Tell us
Prove
what
God's
verse
a
I was about to
narcissist.
read.
You got a whole
I
channel.
will. I will if you will shut up and
I'm
answer my question
I'm
about what
shutting
you
up. I'm
already
shutting up
said.
like you told me. You told me shut up. I'm gonna shut up. Go for it.
I didn't tell you to shut up. I told you to answer my question.
I'm waiting, man.
Is that your answer? Is that your answer to sit there and cackle?
No, my answer is go ahead and do it. Look, okay, fine. You know what? Okay, fine. If you want to draw this out and make it, you could just got to the point, but that's fine. You're gonna draw this out. You really
So are
gonna?
you going to answer the question or not?
Yeah. It's gonna take me a second because I told you I don't have the chapter and verse off the top of my head. So you're gonna force me to go look it up and find it just so I could do this.
Just
This is a
tell me
waste
what
of
book
time.
it's in. What book are you talking about?
It's a waste of time. King James verse,
Oh,
KJV.
yeah, I know. Yeah, you're full of shit. We know. Wow. 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 Boy, they come up here with the... Wow. See how atheists do. Oh, I already know what you're going to read. All right, what is it? Oh, I don't know. See what atheists do. Yeah, atheists are the one spouting the bullshit there. Oh, man. Y'all are funny. Y'all are fucking funny. All right, let's bring up the next one. Chad, you there?
Yeah, hey, how are you? Actually, it's Jess.
Oh, I thought I read that right. Never mind. Sorry. Are you
Oh,
over
no, that's
18?
okay. Yes, I am. I'm 51.
Cool. Are you a Christian?
Yes, chosen one of God, and so is Chad.
I like the sound of that. So, which one of these topics you want to debate us on today?
Okay. I would say God is an unjust narcissist.
That's a good one. That's what we were just talking about.
I'm going to say he's not a narcissist in my eyes because he gave me the ultimate testimony. I am having triplets. I'm 51 years old and been 1 year through menopause. And the Lord, He spoke to me and told me that I was chosen to fulfill a prophecy of having triplets.
What
And
prophecy is that?
just the 144,000 chosen ones in the book of Revelation. He says that the Lord spoke to me and said that I was to fulfill the prophecy of promoting the Lord and His mercy on those who love Him. I would say on people that choose not to love God.
It's so weird you're saying this when the verse that I'm looking at right now is so crazy compared to what you're saying.
I know. I know
The
this
verse
all.
I'm literally looking at right now says they will have no mercy on the fruit of the womb.
I know this all probably sounds absolutely crazy to you and everybody
Just a little
listening.
bit.
And but it's so true. And these babies are actually born. They're going to be born in April, but they're due in May. And the crazy part about it is Chad, because our TikTok name is Chad and Jess. He passed away in May of this year. He was my first love, and 30 years went by. I hadn't talked to him. He passed away, and then he actually came to me in July, and that's why I can tell you that there definitely is an afterlife. He was cremated, but his soul came to me, and he's an angel now, and he's a guardian angel of me. He protects me and our babies. He actually impregnated me in the spiritual realm. And I know all this sounds crazy, but it's so true. So that's my testimony. And I would say, yes, God can be a narcissist unjustly to people, to evil people. But I think to His people, to people that love Him and cherish Him, I believe that He is the most loving, wonderful creator. of this world. And
So what do you think? He protects Christians or something?
no, he has his specific chosen ones, and like Moses carried out a prophecy. I'm sorry, he had a testimony, and he helped the Israelites come out of slavery. He was chosen by God to do that.
Yeah, but he put them back into slavery later.
That because
A couple times, actually.
I know, and I think it's because they turned on God again, you know. Um, but so basically, what I'm trying to say is we are definitely in the end times. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with the story, yeah.
With this story, okay. And
Yeah.
Chad told me that we're definitely in the end times, and in the end times, in the Revelations, there's the 144,000 chosen ones to testify
You know
to.
Revelation's about Rome, right?
Uh, no, I don't believe that.
Well, it tells you that. You just have to read it.
Can you can you pull up the script for me? The scripture?
Well, I can show you what I'm talking about where it says who it's talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Here, I'll
Thank
show you.
you.
So, do you know who the whore of Babylon is? The lady on the beast?
So I believe that to be America.
Well, it tells you who she is in verse 18 of Revelation chapter 17. It says, "For God has put into their hearts to carry out his purpose by agreeing to give their kingdom to the beast until the words of God will be fulfilled. The woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth." That's Rome.
Yeah, I don't. I have to. I tend to disagree on that, sir. And I'm being
Do you
very
disagree with what it says?
well, just because of I heard from the Lord, and um,
So the Bible's wrong?
I believe that some people are just some people the way they portray the Bible. It's all about how you portray it. But I'm living
Well,
it.
it's what it says, though.
Yeah, I know, and I like I said, I'm very, very respectful, and
No, you seem really nice.
oh, thank you. So do you. um,
I do what I can.
but it's true that God is real, and He's very loving, and if you love Him, He'll love you. But if you're against Him, that's when He can be wrathful.
That's
But
where
check.
he'll run you through with a sword, even if you're pregnant, right?
What do you mean by that exactly?
God does that a bunch. Like, do you remember that line that I read when you first came on? They will have no mercy on the fruit of the womb.
But
Their eyes will not pity children.
I believe that to be on the evildoers.
Well, God is making this happen. It's the proclamation against Babylon. He literally takes responsibility for this. He says, they are executing my anger. So God is making them do it.
Right, He is, but I believe it's because they're evildoers. God.
Well, even if they did do evil, like, what does the babies have to do with this? Like, what did the babies do that were evil?
I agree with that. I do. The only thing I can, I'm not God. I wish I had the answer to that. I really don't understand that part of it.
Could you ask God for us? Maybe he can explain it?
Yes, I will definitely pray, absolutely, and see if I can get some type of answer for you. I would
Yeah, that'd be
definitely.
great. We're gonna need some sort of justification for this kind of stuff because this happens a lot in the Bible.
I know it does. I know.
Yeah,
Um,
it's horrible.
it is. It is. But don't give up on God. I believe it. If you have a lot of good in the world, there's evil, and God. No one's God. We don't understand exactly why He does what He does, but um, I can just say that He. I mean, for me, He's given me three babies, triplets. I never thought I would have children, and I'm 51 years
That's cool.
old.
Congratulations there.
Oh, thank you so, so very much. God bless you all, and thank you for having me up here. I
Yeah, no problem.
appreciate it. Happy New Year to you, okay?
Back at you. I hope you have a great year and good luck with those triple babies. I would pass the freak out if I heard I had triplets on the way. Dang. Said she's not pregnant. She's looking for money. She didn't ask for anybody though. Yeah, honestly, sometimes I don't even like debating people like that. Like I'd rather just not even be that contentious. Like some people are just too nice. It totally throws my guard and my pounce off. Why do you atheists think that you have all these breakups and divorces and remarriages? The fuck are you talking about? That's Christians, dude. There's a reason that Thomas Jefferson called Christians hypocrites. Like, wow. It's so blatant, it's crazy. Ugh, insane. Insane, man. I hear you, Jennifer. Wow. Ooh, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Only need a few more of them, 3 more of them to get to the gold. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're called hypocrites because you're a bunch of damn hypocrites. It's pretty simple. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate it. Love the hand hearts. Love the hand hearts. Those are the easiest to see on the screen. Hell yeah, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. TikTok loves it when you give them money. I may be, but y'all are like blatant hypocrites. I'm not. Jennifer, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We only need one more hand heart to make the goal there. Oh my goodness, Jennifer! 2026 has been the awesomest year so far. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. We made my goal. Yeah. Yeah. Tons of light. It's barely been on over an hour, and these numbers are going crazy. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the engagement. Jennifer Queen, y'all are awesome. All right. Well, I think those are accidental requests in the queue here. I was going to say. We got 2, but it was friendlies. Oh, I agree. The Old Testament definitely got a different story than the New one. That's what most Christians never realize because they never read the Old Testament. Like, it has its own story to tell and its own purpose. And then the New Testament comes along and makes up shit about it. And then the Christians only believe that. Oh, well, I guess because God's a racist, buddy. He didn't like people speaking different languages either. Or trying to get too close to heaven because they built a 75-foot high platform. It's all pretty silly, really. The Old Testament wasn't written for Christians. Like, holy crap. That's why y'all are hypocrites. You think everything's for you. Wow. Wow. Oh, man. Like, the words that come out of Christians' mouth never ceases to amaze me. Like, oh boy. Well, all right. Well, we need some Christians to debate up in here. So, y'all keep tapping that screen for me, please. I can't believe how many likes we got already. There's like a bunch of y'all just sitting around tapping the screen, and it's freaking amazing. But we don't have a Christian in the queue right now. I suspected today might be a little slow, which it hasn't been so far. But, you never know, though. Jennifer, thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you too, what does it say, Minkins? I don't know why, but every time I try to read that, it's not saying what it says, like something about the way it's written or something's fucking my brain all up. I mean, I guess. Yeah. Yes, she did, Mommy. Yes, she did. Y'all, Patricia Lockshaw, there's my mommy. She gave birth to the ape. Dr. Josh is teaching me Hebrew this year, by the way. He already sent me he ordered me the book and stuff for it. And then his classes are going to start soon, so I'm going to learn Hebrew this year. Or start learning Hebrew this year. Damn, I was a fat ass baby. Incest is not God's ideal. Yeah, you read the book, didn't you? Dang. Well, you can welcome me when I actually learn it. But I don't know. I might be like, y'all ever seen that movie, Almost Heroes? Had Chandler from Friends and Chris Farley. When he's like, this is the lowercase a. And Chris Farley's like, do you want my head to explode? I hope that's not me learning Hebrew. Yeah, the smartest thing the Bible could have wrote down, and it's don't lean on your own understanding, because it gave people a way out when they don't understand the clear nonsense. Turns out you can't understand nonsense. That's why the book says it. Don't lean on your own understanding. Don't read this. Don't try to interpret it. Let somebody else do it for you. That's convenient. It is fucking horrifying to think that somebody might just, one day think, hey, that Christianity sounds cool. I think I'll read their book. Like, what in the world is going to happen when somebody reads this book unsupervised? It's going to be a shit show is what it is, and you all know it. Nobody says nothing came from nothing. That's just some of y'all's hypocritical ass straw man. Like, nobody even says that. That's why Christian numbers have been dropping for 100 years in this country. It's because y'all are a bunch of hypocrites and everybody knows it. You never know what you're talking about, and you think you're the holiest, most educated ones, and it's just pretty sad, really. All Christians are the true ones. Everybody else is the fake ones. We're the only ones who got it. No, that's not what they teach, big boss. That's just you lying. Without lies, religion dies. Without lies, religion dies. That's what they teach in school. I tell you what, buddy. I'll cash app you $1,000 right now. You come show us any textbook from a school that says something came from nothing. Show us. I'll give you $1,000 right now. That's nothing in the Big Bang says something came from nothing, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. You're spouting more ridiculous nonsense. Anyway, let's try Constance here. Constance, you there? Constance? Constance Carpo? I think it was if you requested up on purpose, the host is weak. Oh, y'all can't make any logical sense, so y'all just start talking about people. It's so funny. It's pretty entertaining, actually. It's infuriating sometimes, but it is entertaining too, for the most part. Especially now that I'm used to it in general. Have been for years. Yes, we know. God dashes babies to pieces when people don't love him like he commands. We get it. You serve a great, great God. Yeah, we know that. If you don't love God, he dashes babies to pieces and has women great because he's so mad that the little silly monkeys he made don't love him. No, never says that. Babies don't go straight to heaven. If you're born into sin and God's unaliving wicked babies with the wicked, they're not going to heaven, buddy. Yes, we did. You can come up and talk if you want. Just saying crazy stuff in the comments. I mean, that's cool. You can. Don't let me discourage you by any means. But there's no age of accountability in the Bible. enemy. I'm a neighbor. I appreciate you, though. Oh, we did come from monkeys. We totally did, man. That's actually a fun one. The monkey thing. I like bringing that one up. All the monkey fucking. That's how we got here, monkey fucking. What a fun fact that is. Monkey fucking. Monkey fucking made humans. Monkeys fucked in Africa. Humans came around. Humans left Africa. And we dominated the whole world. Except for, the little parts we can live on anyway. So we came from Adam and Eve. I agree, hedonista. They are a separate branch. That's why evolution's so complicated, because there's so many crazy terms that mean so many different things. All right, let's try this one here. Another accidental request, I suppose. Man. Thank y'all for the likes, by the way. Where we at here? It's been an awesome live. Where we at on let's see. Need 24 more followers to get to 1,600. Up from 11. If God didn't want anybody to be damned forever, he wouldn't have made the rules say you're damned forever. Surreal. 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 There you go, Queen. You beat me to it. Queen knows. Queen knows. Qualia knows. Maybe Duke requested up on purpose. Duke, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yeah, we've talked before, man. I just wanted to wish you a happy new year.
Oh, cool. Happy New Year to you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I said happy New Year back to you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I hadn't talked to you in a while. Of course, I'm a believer.
Right?
And I know that the last time I talked to you, I think you hadn't made the decision to deconstruct just yet. And I guess you've made the decision completely now,
I've been
right?
deconstructed for I've been an atheist for over a decade now.
Oh,
Sure,
really?
maybe you talked to.
Like, you know what it is? No, it is you that I talked to. You know what it is? Is that you, it's the way you handle yourself. I can tell that you really just want the truth, and I appreciate that about you. I think yesterday I was watching the donkey conversation. I guess I'm not going to lie, bro.
You're what?
I'm not gonna lie. That was you were watching. You were talking about the donkey conversation with Jesus riding the donkey, and you guys were tripping me out. But I have a question because I'm trying to figure things out about. Yeah, but I got a question. Is it possible that your disbelief is based off the denominational presentation that you received as you grew up? Like, what if the denomination was an error and what you're kicking against is the way you were taught? Because what I'm seeing
partly true.
Go ahead.
That is partly true, yeah.
And because most of the atheists that I talk to, this is what's getting to me. Most of the atheists that I talk to, their disconnect comes from their denominational perspective. So what research have you done beyond the way you were presented?
Uh, I don't know. I've read 5, 10,000 hours of biblical scholarship. Read the Bible a bunch of times. A bunch of the prophecies. Like, I've studied this pretty immensely.
Okay, gotcha. And you did it from like you studied the Hebrew words to find out what the writers actually intended.
Best I could. Yeah.
Because I guess the reason I'm asking is because most Christians actually are taught wrong. Most, especially in Western civilization, they're taught
I
completely
agree.
wrong. Uh, because have you ever heard of replacement theology?
I think so.
Yeah, replacement theology is the ideology that the church replaces Israel, right? And when that happens, the entire context of the Bible changes. It's like
Which part?
all of it. Replacement. When you add replacement theology, it changes everything. And 90% of American Christianity is built off replacement theology. Like,
Well, that's just the New Testament, I think. It's definitely changing the context, but it's just what the New Testament's saying. But it
well,
has to, because you can't get there contextually through anything else but typologies and double fulfillments. Like there's no context that the New Testament has on the Old.
well, with replacement theology, it teaches that the Old Testament is completely null and void.
You broke up a little
That
bit
you
there.
don't need
Sorry.
the Old Testament. Yeah, with replacement theology, it teaches that the Old Testament is no longer needed. That it's only the New Testament that matters, and that's
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
But how so if the majority of Christians are reading uh, from an English perspective, they're reading the King James Version Bible from an English perspective, isn't it possible that the reason why people aren't seeing the results or seeing or getting all these mixed messages is because they don't know what the writer really meant? Because they don't know the
That's
language, they don't know
true.
the perspective.
That's just one of the problems, yeah, but
It's
there's too many problems. Like there's all kind of problems all over the place. Like there's no univocal voice in the Bible. Like there's no one person speaking. It's a bunch of different voices and they all contradict each other. So I mean, you have to prioritize. That's why there's so many denominations of Christianity. You have to prioritize somebody's voice over another one to make it make sense. You know what I mean?
There's 49,000 denominations. No, I'm not joking. There's 49,000 Christian denominations,
I believe you. I believe you.
and they're all telling each other that they do it the wrong way. So it's not
Yeah,
just
so I don't
atheists.
see why I believe any of them.
Yeah, and this is what my I guess this is what my thing is that if you go when you look the cohesiveness that you're talking about, you see it when you go to the original context. It's like this: if I make a movie, and then I ask you, did you see my movie? And you go, yeah, it's about this, this, and this, and you're completely off. But you go around telling everybody what you think the movie's about, but I know what it's really about because I wrote it and I made it. The original writings, I think we've been so dismissive. First of all, if the only thing we've ever done is read the King James Version Bible, have we actually even read the Bible? Because it's his version.
You've read a version of it, yeah.
It's a version of it. And so what if that's what's creating that lack of cohesiveness and consistency that you're talking about?
Well, it can't be because there's the King James Bible didn't even get written until about 400 years ago, and it's been a lot of stuff going on since way before then.
Well,
But there's no originals or anything to even go off of, so I mean, who knows?
well, we have the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Those aren't originals though; they're still centuries separated from the actual books most of the time.
The Dead
And
Sea
before
Scrolls.
the Dead Sea Scrolls, there wasn't an Old Testament, a complete Old Testament copy outside the Masoretic text. That was from like 1000 AD. So I mean, the Dead Sea Scrolls literally got it pushed back 1,000 years for the Old Testament.
So this is
It's
what
pretty amazing.
right, but it's I guess it would be the timing, right? So the Dead Sea Scrolls. Do you remember how the Dead Sea Scrolls were found?
Yeah.
So if the Dead Sea Scrolls were found after the printing of the Bible happened, after it was translated,
Yeah,
and this
way
is part
after.
of Yeah. And so, but the accuracy in the translation was like 99.9% correct.
I don't agree with that.
No, you can look it up. It really was an accurate. Now here's the thing.
I've looked it up. That's why I don't agree with it.
What was the print? Look it up again because I'm not by my computer. Can you look it up again real quick? What was the
Well, I
accuracy of the?
mean, if I remember it right, the Great Isaiah, there's like 36 books of Isaiah,
Yeah,
different books in the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? So the
right.
Great Isaiah Scroll is the one that comes up the most, and from what I remember, there's like 6,000 differences between that and the Masoretic text.
Well, the problem is that we canonized when you look at that King James version and you look at what they canonized in the Council of Nicaea, they still determine what
They didn't
went in and
canonize
what
anything
books
in the Council of
did.
Nicaea.
Not I'm talking about the Council of Nicaea determined what would be considered the Holy Scriptures and what wouldn't.
No, they didn't. That was not. No, you're thinking of something else. I don't know what it was, but the Council of Nicaea, they just debated the divinity of Jesus. That it wasn't about canon. Saint
Well,
Nicholas slapped the
look
shit out
that
of
up
a guy
again.
at the Council of Nicaea.
Can you look that up again for me? You sure?
What?
Because I could have sworn that that's where they
Yeah, I'm
decided
positive.
what books would be considered. Because the
No, that's
apocrypha there was this, the apocrypha wasn't included in the canon. When did the Bible get canonized?
there's been lots of different canons in lots of different times and lots of different places. The modern canon didn't even come around till like the 1700s. That was decided at the Council of Trent.
Right. But that's what I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
not the
When
Council of
did the
Nicaea.
Bible actually become? It wasn't the Council of Nicaea?
No, they just debated the divinity of Jesus there. Like Emperor Constantine made them do it because they were all fighting each other and it was bad for the empire. Like if you're trying to run an empire by yourself, you don't want people at odds, especially powerful people. You have to make them get on some sort of same page, right? So they were having big arguments and wars and fighting each other over this. There was bloody violence all over the place. So Constantine said, look, y'all are coming together right now and we're going to squash this. We're going to figure something out. So everybody got together at the Council of Nicaea. And they spent quite a long time. There's transcripts of it that survive now. And they debated whether Jesus was a fully man or fully God. And the ultimate decision they came up with, he's both.
Gotcha. Okay, I got to do more research on that. My next question is, why do you think Christians are persecuted all over the Middle East?
I don't know. At odds with other Abrahamic religions for the most part.
Would you consider Islam an Abrahamic religion?
Yeah.
And
Christians have been the biggest persecutor of Christians overall historically. Not being the right kind of Christian, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, so and that's the thing. When Christianity got disconnected from its Jewish roots, it became a political, powerful thing, right? Have you ever seen that movie Book of Eli?
Yeah, it's awesome.
With Denzel Washington?
The other day, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
it's that same concept. Like they saw the guy saw the power of its ability to control people, and that's why he wanted the book, right? But that's what the Roman culture did. Like, how did the Bible become? My question is, how did the Bible go from being a Jewish book about Jewish people to a book about like the Roman Catholics and the Protestants and all that? How did that happen?
I think it was because of Jesus. Like long story
Do you think
short,
it was
like
good?
Jesus came around in the first century. So the scholarly consensus on the life of Jesus is that he probably had a real small following in his lifetime. He never even went to big cities. It kind of stuck to like outlying cities in Israel and stuff like that. So Jesus came along. A few people thought he was this Messiah, but he died. So to cope with that death, they made up the New Testament, and then writers like Paul came along after that Like, I don't know. I think Paul was probably super guilty about having to do the awful things that God made him do. So he says he devised a way to get out of keeping the awful law of Yahweh, which is basically what Paul did. And what most Christians accept today, even though Jesus himself said you have to keep the law to get to God.
Yeah, that you don't get to pick and choose what parts you like and don't like. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I like a lot of Christians try to make excuses for stuff. I don't do that. I'm into like I believe in God's sovereignty. So I'm like, if God did it, then that's what it is. You know, like an alligator. If an alligator eats a kid, it's not an evil alligator. It's an alligator. You know that a predator is a predator, and so sovereignty is sovereignty.
And I mean, yeah, and I understand that, but that's also one of the main reasons I do this channel is because that's the most dangerous path of thinking that I think humans can take is to have thinking like, just because if God says it, does it, it's good no matter what. Like that's extremely dangerous.
So my thing is this: to me, if there is no God, the worst thing possible is that there is just humanity, because that means humans were so evil that they came up with the concept of God.
Yeah, but
That
yeah, exactly. But we're doing better. Like we're so much better. Like the laws we have in America now are a billion times more humanitarian than the laws in this book here that God gives.
would that
So we've
include,
done better.
but
Just being human. Secular societies are always the best. Secular societies are the only ones that allow religious freedom.
we have babies in the womb.
Do I know?
But we unalive babies in the womb.
Well, if you call them babies, but most people don't think they're babies. And God does that too. So, I mean, according to the Bible,
Well,
it's fine
that's
to
what
do
I'm
that.
saying is that. Well, no, I'm with you. So here's the thing: is that wouldn't that mean that we were made in the image of God if we're acting just like Him? So
Well,
to
if we're
hate
acting
God
like
would be to
God,
hate
then
ourselves as well.
this doesn't say much for God.
But I thought you just said we were doing better.
Well, so now we are in secular societies, yeah.
But that's the thing. That I guess that's what my point is that if the only difference between secular society and God Himself is belief, but we're doing the same things. We're
We're
acting
not
just
doing, that's
like
what I'm saying. We've moved on. We're doing better
how?
because now we actually have freedoms like religious freedoms and freedom of speech and stuff like that. The Bible does not grant any of those.
Are we mixing the words freedom and rebellion? Because they can look alike. Like control can look like oppression if we're not careful. You know, like
No, the
being
Bible says if someone entices you to other gods or claims they're going to other gods, according to this book, you have to pick up the first rock and start throwing at them until they're unalived.
right, right, and that still goes on in the Middle East today. That still goes on to the Middle East now.
Yeah, sad.
So when you look at what Christ came to do, which is also in the Old Testament, which is this concept of salvation. So the concept of salvation is not a New Testament concept; it's an Old Testament concept, right? Like
True, but the New Testament put their own spin on it, so they made up their own version of salvation. They didn't go by the Old Testament.
but remember that he actually said, I believe it's in Jeremiah, look, I do a new thing. So when that
That's
salvation was
Isaiah,
going
but
to come, because
Jeremiah
remember,
basically does say the same thing.
yeah, and remember also, the Jewish people didn't accept Christ as the Messiah either, because they said he wasn't going by what the law said as well. Correct?
Well, they didn't accept him because he didn't fit any actual description of a messianic or a Messiah, not a messianic, but he didn't fit any description
So,
of the Old Testament of a Messiah.
so are there more Jews that accept the Messiah now more than there were in the time of Christ?
No, no. It's the exact opposite, actually. Nearly half of all Jews on the planet now are completely secular. They're all atheists, actually.
No, because I actually own a messianic streaming television network. And we have 4 million viewers, and we actually work with the Jerusalem Prayer Council, where Christians and Jews come together, and basically the Messianic movement is growing tremendously fast, and it has been growing since 1948. that since 1948
when
that
Israel was established.
yeah, but
No.
when you talk of like, did you know that Jews were the number one investors in the civil rights movement?
Yeah, Jews have been the number one investors in a lot of time periods in history.
And so when you, I guess what I'm saying is that there was wonderful contributions that people of faith have made into our society. Would you agree?
Sure.
It doesn't exclude the terrible things that happened, but I'm saying we have to acknowledge that there they that there have been wonderful contributions that help civilization, even secular civilization, become better.
Yeah, especially in Jews. I mean, for Jews to be one of the smallest demographics of all the Abraham, it's by far the smallest group of Abrahamic religions. But like the number of people they've had that won Nobel Prize is like comparing the amount of people is like huge.
So if their origins comes from this Abrahamic religion, and we can go and see what they believe. We can go and see their origin, and the fact that they're still there, that doesn't mean anything out of just being inside of a book.
Well, it doesn't make the book
Like
true.
the fact that they exist. I'm saying, but the fact that they exist, like when Netanyahu got in front of the NATO, this is the World's Council, and he starts discussing about how they were freed from slavery in Egypt. You know, that they were freed from slavery, and he talks about how God split the sea in half. When you look at Martin Luther King, when he does the mountaintop speech, speaking of Moses, these were things that impacted our culture and our reality and convicted hearts that caused liberation to happen. So if you take the book out, they have no reference points to make, which means we would be stuck with human revelation, which means humans who believed in slavery and all that stuff, which just like the Jews did. But if you take the book out, Martin Luther King doesn't make that mountaintop speech that would cause equality to happen in America.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had the Crusades and stuff either.
Now, yeah, but the question then becomes: did God ordain the Crusades, or were the Crusades caused because of man?
This was all because of man, in my opinion.
So then,
Like the
man,
Exodus isn't even real history. Like no archaeological evidence suggests the Exodus actually happened like the Bible describes it.
right? So then, but when you have a world leader like President Netanyahu who represents that faith, right? And then he goes
Does he?
no, but here's the thing. But then he goes in front of world leaders who've accomplished way us and speaks about it as historical fact, and there's no rebuttal. Like everyone just accepts it. Is it that we're misguided?
They don't. Well, just because they don't say anything doesn't mean they don't not believe it.
Oh, right, right. Because they all come from different religions. It's a world religion. It's
No.
the NATO.
But
There are
either
people
way,
from
there's
coming
no
up from.
archaeological evidence or historical evidence that the Exodus actually happened. In fact, it couldn't have happened the way the Bible
Well,
describes.
well, they did. They are finding like chariot pieces and things like that in the bottom of the Red Sea.
It's completely made up, man. That was a nurse who went over there pretending to be an archaeologist who said he found that stuff, and there's no record of it at all.
But they're still doing it though. They're still doing the research.
There's nothing from the Red Sea that they've found and linked to the Exodus.
Dude,
That's
I
not
would love to have you on my
archaeological.
show. I have to have you on my show, bro. First of all, I love because you're
Well,
well balanced and you really study.
well,
I
shoot
want
me
to
a
invite
message.
you
I'll
on
come
my
on
show.
sometime.
Yeah, and if you go, we have a whole channel called Apologetics View. It's Good View Network, VUEnetwork.com. If you go up there, there's an apologetics. I would love for you to debunk the stuff that's up there because I'm about truth too, and I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm saying that I know sometimes how Christians want this to be true, and they're so willing to make stuff up, like you just said. And if there's somebody who actually has facts that can totally debunk Christianity, I would love to interview that person because we have
I think you can do it
thousands
just
of
with the
hours
Bible.
of study. the problem with that is just the power of perception, man. Because I'll tell you a quick story. I was at 7-Eleven one time, and I was going out to get I was going out to get a drink, and this lady walks up and just bashes her husband's window in because he saw him lean over and kiss the girl that was in the car. And her perception was that he was cheating on her. And I was like, oh, well, he's getting what he deserved. That's exactly what I thought. Find out it was his cousin. And his cousin, he kissed her on the cheek because he had to pick her up from the airport because she was being abused by her husband and she had made her, and they didn't want anyone to know. And when they explained it to her, she felt silly, but she saw things how she saw things. So the power of perception, especially if you add disappointment, frustration, lack of understanding, and the language barrier, there's so many opportunities to misinterpret the scripture, especially if we're looking at it our own way with our own words.
Well, maybe, but I don't think I'm doing none of that.
No, that's what I'm saying is that if you're doing the research and you're studying from what the original text actually says, using, like, perfect example, if I said you look gay right now, you would think I'm just being a jerk, right? But if I'm using it in the original context, I could get beat up because I'm saying you look happy. So if I use the word for what it originally means, but no one knows it anymore, then even though I'm saying something good, but it's interpreted as bad because no one knows what the word means anymore because we use it
Well,
differently.
I'm not operating on misinterpretations and stuff. I'm operating on what the words are telling us.
Like, give me an
Like
example.
this new covenant that's formed in Jeremiah 31. Like, it's real specific about
Uh-huh.
what's going to happen and when. So,
Right.
I mean, if those things don't happen, I don't see no reason to give Jeremiah any credence if it can't get its own prophecies right. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, listen, he was killed by his own people. Jared, all the prophets were actually murdered. All the prophets were schmurdered, I guess I got to say. All the prophets were mainly schmurdered by their own people. But isn't it interesting that, like, I guess the question, put it this way: how much, help me out with this? How much does this make a difference? In the time of Jesus, there was about 200 million people on the entire planet. And by 1930, there was 2.2 billion people on the planet. And now we're at 8.8 billion people on the planet. How many people are actually taking the time to learn what the Word of God actually says? Or are people just nitpicking and choosing what they and not actually living it, but then saying it's false?
I don't know, probably a bunch.
So if because if the population's growing that fast, most people don't even take the time to actually learn what it really says, even though they're going, I'm a Christian, I'm an atheist. They're making these profound claims that stands on, but they really haven't even tried to live it out or even figure it out, but just have strong opinions about it. And is it possible that most people are basing things off what's convenient for how they want to live versus the authenticity of the Bible?
Probably. I don't think
Because I
that's what
think
I'm
that
doing.
atheists have the same problems that Christians. I think that atheists have. No, I'm just saying. I think that atheists have the same problems as Christians do, because the Bible
I'm
even
sure they
makes it
do,
clear
but
that
I
there's
mean,
certain things you're not going to be able to perceive.
well, sure, but still, it's pretty clear though. When it says this
Because
is going to happen and this
I
is going to
think,
happen, and if it stops happening, this is going to happen. Like, it's you don't need interpretations and stuff for that. It's pretty clear.
I guess my thing is that how do we know if we're misinterpreting it from the jump, right? If we're misinterpreting the scriptures from the jump, because
What makes you think I'm
like even
misinterpreting
the
it?
Bible even. Because there's a difference between translation and recontextualizing. And if we can recontextualize something, then the meaning has changed. If I say the blood of Jesus makes your sins as white as snow, but you've never seen snow. So then I make, I go, the blood of Jesus makes your sin as white as wool, just so you can have an understanding. That's one thing. What in the English translations, and when you look at the English translation of they actually change the meanings of the words completely. In the English translation, change the
Sometimes,
meanings
but
of
there's
the
plenty
word.
of people that can read the original
Could do is
Hebrew.
misinterpret it.
Maybe.
Right.
But that don't mean it is either. Like when it says certain things, like in the
Spanish, right?
I can listen to Tovia Singer. He speaks Hebrew. Like he's telling me what he thinks it says in Hebrew. I mean, it all seems to line up pretty good.
So here's the thing. So we're here in Western civilization. I was trying to learn Spanish one time, and I'm like, this is frustrating. These people talk backwards because I'm used to talking a certain way. I'm like, why do they write backwards? Why do they talk backwards? Or you go overseas and go, why do they drive on the side of the road? So now we have our perception of right and wrong based off what we have been accustomed to. We're basing up what right and wrong is. So, overseas, they'll cut your hand off for stealing, right? Or you can get thrown in jail for talking against your leadership. And they don't have to, and these are not necessarily
bodily mutilations too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that what if Western civilization has caused us to have a different mindset towards even what we consider as good and evil? Because you say the Bible allows mutilation.
Yeah, we decided that chopping people's hands off for silly little crimes isn't justice; it's evil. We've moved past the Bronze Age, thankfully.
Right, but have we? When we can tell a 2-year-old boy that he can turn into a girl?
I'm trying to, but some people insist we stick around in it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, is going to school to learn how to mutilate a body different? Like the
yeah, it is different.
So it's better to go to school and learn how to do it.
Well, it's the reasons that it's being done. Like, we don't cut women's hands off anymore for grabbing a man's genitals.
Right, but we do it for different reasons now. Like if a boy wants to become a girl.
What reason do we cut women's hands off now?
No. I'm saying that when a boy wants to be a girl, we can mutilate their bodies because of something.
Well, that's elective surgery, not punishment for touching genitals.
No, I got you on that. But at the same time, they are trying to bring here where they can do that. And that's Muslims, not Christian, but it's still an Abrahamic faith. But I'm still making the point that just because we do the same things in different ways and calls it civilized, take God out of the picture, injustice still exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
you can take God all the way out of the picture, and we're here. We're on our own. So I think it's pretty important to realize that, and saying since we're on our own, we can only help each other, and that's what we need to do.
Well, I was talking
God
to
ain't
this
coming to help nobody. He ain't talking to nobody. He ain't showing up and doing nothing. That's for damn sure. It's almost like he's a useless and imaginary, actually.
Well, the reason why God. Believing in God stopped me from unaliving myself. So for me, it's really important. And I was talking to this one deconstructionist guy, and I asked him. I said, before we start this conversation, if by the end you do your job and steal my faith, and I find no reason to live, would you care? And he said, absolutely not. It doesn't. You don't matter to me. Nobody matters to me. And my concern was like, why would I even listen to someone that, like, in the core of their being doesn't care about me? Like, why would I trust someone who genuinely doesn't care about me? And they don't care about my life that I have now.
Doesn't mean he's wrong about the text, though.
The amount of dismissiveness to not cherish the life that we have.
Don't mean he's wrong necessarily about the doctrine either.
I got you. And that's what I'm saying, is that the God that I believe in cared that I live. So why would I abandon something that's so rare amongst humans, which is genuine love?
I think, well,
You know,
I'd have love
like
either way.
if all this chaos
But I
that,
mean, in your case, if that's what's keeping you alive, then by all
well, no,
means, don't try not to believe it.
well, here's the thing: is but I'm also encouraged by the same book to seek truth. So even if the book is wrong, the fact that it encourages to seek truth, I'm still encouraged by that. So to me, because I believe in God, and I'm seeking truth based off because he identifies himself as truth and as love. So maybe the book is wrong, but the idea of seeking truth and love is still right.
Sure, but you don't
And,
need the Bible for that.
and but you don't need what?
You don't need the Bible for that. It is religion or this God.
Well, maybe not, but I know that maybe that may be true. But I think that say you pursuing truth and I'm pursuing truth, we can still say, hey, we're on the same path. We're trying to pursue truth together. And we start to look at things at these different angles versus tearing each other down. Why can't we pursue truth together?
I mean, we can. We can just read the book.
Well,
That's what I'm
and then
doing here, actually.
and I think that's why I have such like the last conversation that we had was so good because it's like, hey, I don't have like you don't have to tear down my faith and I don't have to tear down your disbelief, but we can pursue truth together and be like, come on, man, like this part right here. Like let's be real. The idea of Noah's Ark, right? It's just like, yeah, sure, it may seem real and your capacity to believe it may seem real as a child, but as an adult, it becomes harder to believe, right?
Sure.
Because there's a science involved, there's this and that, so it becomes harder to believe. However, we have to accept the fact that if a human being, especially since we all are pursuing truth together, if a human being has the ability to facilitate the possibility of supernatural activity, then that should be studied. Just the fact that there's people out there that have the ability to pursue supernatural activity. But that would mean that all bets have to be off. You can't say someone's doing this the wrong way or something. We would have to really scientifically examine the possibility of supernatural activity versus just shutting it down like it's ridiculous.
It's been
Because,
tried a whole lot. Not a single person has ever demonstrated it's even possible. But a whole
well,
lot of people have demonstrated that it's not possible, and they're lying about it.
but think about it. They do the same thing with the earth. Is the earth round or flat? And so you have
Yeah, but
Christians
the Earth's round, and you can prove that, but nobody has proved anything supernatural. It's completely imaginary as far as I'm concerned.
look, and this is what confuses me because I've talked to people who were Christians and atheists that believe the earth is flat, and they say you can't prove that. There's people that don't even believe we left the planet. So now it's like, so you have, and they both talk about evidence. They both talk about, so I'm like, what if it's just coming down to what we believe? What if we can't prove anything? Because,
No, well, that's the thing. If I'm going to believe something, you're going to have to prove it to me. I mean, there was people in the Roman Empire during the while they ruled Britain, there was people in the Roman Empire that thought Britain was completely made up. They thought it was an imaginary place, even though the Roman Empire had people that had been there and it was part of the empire. But I mean, it just goes to show you, people don't know what they're talking about. People can be complete idiots, and I'm one of them. That's why I need you. If you're going to tell me that something supernatural or a miracle happened, you are going to have to prove that, or somebody is somehow or another. But there's no
gotcha.
reason to believe any of that.
Well, even the Bible actually does say that in the book of Revelation. It says in the last days that people will defeat evil with the blood of the Lamb and the power of our testimony, which it didn't say because of the Bible. It just says the blood of the Lamb and the power of our testimony. And I noticed that, in the atheist community, they don't want to hear testimony, which I actually understand why. Because if the security system that most people build their inner stability off of is evidence, and someone shares their testimony, we can't actually prove the testimony. We can't, you can't measure
Right.
someone's thought process,
Right.
or a memory or how things played out. You can't measure that. The issue is that what if there are just things in life that are bigger than our ability to measure?
I mean, maybe there is, but I have no reason to believe it if we can't measure it or detect it or something.
So,
Because people can imagine all kind of crazy stuff. I can imagine unicorns flying around the room right now, but proving that is a totally different story. But that's exactly why we need to prove these things and work off facts and data and not beliefs and feelings.
see, this is why I like science so much. Say the Wright brothers. The Wright brothers weren't thinking about fighter jets. They were saying that it's possible to fly. So all the naysayers that existed when they were saying, they proved it and had to silence all the naysayers. So the naysayers were now
Exactly.
considered wrong because they proved it. So even you or me, we could disagree with them. You can't fly. We could come against them as much as we want to. Once they've flown, we have to shut up. The
Pretty much.
issue with the issue with this God thing is similar to the Wright brothers in a sense, but it's more like the caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Like, if you could, a caterpillar is a caterpillar, but only when it goes through its transformation does it turn to a butterfly, when it goes through its metamorphosis. So there's this thing where we only find out what the absolute truth is when we cross the other side. That's why I think it's so important that we treat each other with
That just
respect.
makes it a belief, though.
But what isn't built off of belief in reality? The
Facts and data.
well, that's what I'm saying. Notice you don't see butterflies hanging out with caterpillars. So if you tried to convince a caterpillar that, like, we can observe, but if you put a human consciousness in a caterpillar, it wouldn't know that it's going to turn into a butterfly one day. It would only go through the life that it understands. Even with our mindset, we'd be like, this sucks. I'm a worm with legs and everything's trying to take me out. And then one day we would turn into this butterfly, but it would happen regardless of our understanding of who we are. And I'm just saying that, like, my personal belief, some people call me a heretic, and I get it. My personal belief is that God is reality. That God is reality. Because if you take religion out of it, good things, bad things still happen. It's just reality. Truth, lies, they exist. Truth and lies both exist, and it's just reality. And I do believe that God speaks to us, that reality itself speaks to us. And we say it constantly. We say things like, something told me not to do that. Something beyond me told me not to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what if we,
Yeah, kind of. I feel like we're out of debating now, though,
no,
honestly.
I'm asking a question. I'm saying, what if religion made a attempt to try to explain reality, but
Well,
science
that is what
doesn't?
it did.
Yeah, and there's nothing. I just don't see anything wrong with progressing into a higher thought process.
I
But it,
mean, I don't know how religion is going to get you there. Man, it's been
what,
around an awful long time. I think it's on the way out, if anything.
well, there's 330 million people in America, and 216 million of them are believers.
Yeah, and that number is dropping every second.
Well, but then that would also be biblical, though, because he said that that wide is the pathway of destruction, and many go down on it. That only a few would actually be able to receive the truth. And if you think about it, only a few people are wealthy because only a few people are willing to do what it takes to be wealthy. We're the most obese nation in the world. Only a few people are willing to be healthy. So only a few people are really willing to do what it takes to believe the right things anyway.
Maybe.
What would it take for you to say it's possible that there is a God? Because right now you
You'd have to
complete.
demonstrate somehow or another that it's anything but a figment of imaginations.
And is love a figment of our imagination?
No,
Huh. And love can't be measured though.
sure it can. You might not
How?
can measure it with an exact number, but you can tell if someone loves you or not based on their actions. Like if someone actually loves you, you can that'll be reflected in how they act towards you. You know what I mean? Like you can't say you love your wife and then smack her upside the head 5 times a day and never talk to her and push her around. Like you obviously don't love her. You know what I mean?
But what if that's their perspective of love because that's what they were taught?
Well, then it's not right. They
Right.
messed up.
That's what I'm saying. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Jesus himself said to a bunch of Christians that will say to him, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, didn't I do this in your name? Didn't we do this in your name? And he rejects them. So there's a real standard that he has that he's not even accepting what most Christians don't even know that they're going to the same hell that they say atheists are going to or other religions are going to. Most Christians are going to the exact same place.
Probably.
So my thing is this is when we're trying to pursue this thing called truth, what if it doesn't look like anything that any of us thought?
And there's no reason to believe it.
In truth?
Yeah, if you can't prove it's true, there's no reason to believe it.
If you can't prove it's true, there's no reason to believe it.
I don't think so.
But what if we just haven't learned how to pursue it correctly?
And there's still no reason to believe it because you can't prove it. Like, you know how many times I've been wrong? Like, I'm a complete idiot. I'm a freaking simpleton of the highest order. But knowing that, I can protect myself because instead of just believing whatever bullshit that pops in my head, I can say, all right, prove it or back up what you're saying. Show me something. You know what I mean? I'm an idiot. You're going to have to prove it to me. Like, that's just the way I operate now.
And that's the thing is that I disagree with you 100% because from the first time that I talked to you, I saw somebody that was intelligent, highly intelligent, because you're smart enough to one, say you don't know, say when you're wrong. Those things open you up to intellect. And that's what science does so well, where Christians will do more of defending a denominational position and just, dinosaurs don't exist. Like, what?
Well, I don't think it makes me smart. It just makes me honest.
No, that's actually a good quality.
Being honest is a good quality, yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that you even stand on your ground where you're like, prove it. I don't think Jesus said himself, let no man deceive you.
I have to prove it to myself, even myself. Like I cannot, even in my own head, I cannot be trusted to think properly without proving something. Like I think things all the time that when I actually investigate turn out wrong. You know what I mean? So I can't even trust my own self in my own head to tell me something true. I actually have to have it proven even to myself, but especially from outside sources because people lie sometimes.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that Matthew 24, Jesus said, let no man deceive you. Deception, like being deceived is a big deal. And the fact that you take yourself seriously enough, you take your life seriously enough to not be deceived, whether it's religion or whatever, that's a good thing. That makes you highly intelligent.
I would say don't let Jesus deceive you. Well, I don't think you got to be a genius not to accept bullshit without having it proved to you.
But let's be real. That's the norm of humanity, though. Yeah, people easily give. There were people that, like, let's be real, in American culture, right? There are people that hated each other over skin color. So we know that people can be deceived by things that don't matter and accept stupid stuff. But the thing for me is the contribution that spirituality has made has advanced our society. Like that's the thing that gets me is how can we just dismiss that, people who believe in God, who have had a change of heart, who went from being completely racist to being loving because of their relationship with God. and the
Yeah, but is it
healings.
really because of that, or just because they're scared to death of this awful God? That's how this God operates. He operates through fear.
So a person being racist who forms a relationship with God and realizes that they are unloving and turns to love, that actually makes them. That means God is terrible.
No, I'm saying they didn't actually feel that way. If they're being controlled and through fear and doing that, I guess you could argue that's a better option than being a racist. But I'm saying God operates through fear, is what I'm saying.
Fear or conviction.
Fear.
Hmm. And you don't operate in fear.
No. I mean, why would anybody fear me?
So because a lot of reason that people don't just go bananas is because they fear going to jail. They don't want to go to jail. So the consequences exist.
Well, listen to this. This is from Ezekiel 20. It says, I defiled them through their very gifts, and their offering up their firstborn, in order that I might horrify them, so that they might know that I am the Lord. So,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
he's horrifying the people just to make himself known. Like, this is ridiculous, man.
But isn't that exactly what humans do too?
Maybe, but this is God, though.
Yeah, but we were made in His image.
Fear, societies, like, if you go all the way back to, like, the first big societies, like Sumeria and stuff like that, they were operating through fear tactics and terror. They tried to force people into control, but it obviously didn't work as well as they thought, because the further we get through time, we start seeing more freedoms actually equal people calming down. You know what I'm saying? That's why secular societies that allow religious freedom and tolerance are the most tolerant type of societies toward other people, because there's more freedom and more understanding. And that's how it works. We will always operate better as like a modern secular society than they did in Sumeria, where they were used like through fear tactics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you fuck with us, we're gonna rip your skin off of you.
And you don't think we do that as America?
Rip people's skin off of them?
No. So say like Christopher Columbus when he came here, right? Do you know in his journal he talks about how he told a Native American tribe that if they didn't give him all of their supplies, that his God was going to blot out the sun. But really, he knew that eclipse was going to happen because he studied the stars. So he knew that an eclipse was about to happen. And the whole reason he was trying to leave, he knew they didn't have enough supplies. So he told the tribe that his God was going to blot out the sun because he had the knowledge over them that an eclipse was coming. When the eclipse came, they gave him all the resources. And when he came back, they were all dead. Now, that's manipulation at its finest. And it's interesting
So is that
because
what this God's doing? Am I supposed to be impressed? Or like, I don't.
oh no, I'm just saying that if we're created in God's image, we're going to operate just like Him. It's just He's the only like we. I think that
Well, if we are God, or if we're in God's image and God is us, that's pretty damn. Doesn't say much for this God, because if this is supposed to be like some moral standard and leader that we look up to, and it's us, like, that's just sad.
Well, I don't think it's about morality. I think it's about sovereignty. I think the fact that He created
Well, maybe I'm just saying, like, if we're in God's image and God is us and we act like God, like, so what about this God? Like, it's not worthy of worship. I don't think we should be worshiping each other.
no, I'm not saying worship each other. I'm not saying worship. I'm just saying that humans without guidance, without God, humans without guidance are going to be terrorists because we have the power of God inside of ourselves, but we're doing whatever we want. So I guess what I'm saying is that we have to kind of look at what God is dealing with when He's dealing with us. He's got a bunch of humans who are created in His image that have no idea what they're doing, and He's combating that. Now the question would be why, and my answer to that
He
is,
tells them what to do, and it still don't work.
but they
Even
don't do
when
it.
He terrorizes them, they still turn from Him. Exactly. It's crazy. It's
But
not working anyway. God is literally doing the definition of insanity. He's doing the same things over and over and over again and hoping for a different result.
Well, the thing is that when he's ready to end it, he'll end it. But it's his video game. It's his movie.
Well, it's a really, really nonsensical one.
Well, so are sequels of bad movies. you know,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
it's in our nature. Like God's telling His story the way He wants.
It seems to me this is just the Israelites kind of perceiving their own history of anytime that it's going bad for them, God's mad at them. Anytime it's going good, they're in God's graces, and it just happens over and over again through history. It's just
Gotcha.
how they used to tell history, even though it wasn't accurate history. It was just kind of like their tradition, I guess.
And you don't think that like this is like we're talking about something so serious, right? We're talking about whether or not you are helping people. You're either helping people enlighten themselves, or you're actually leading people to hell. You're doing one of the two things. So my question to you would be, even though I know you got like 40,000 people that tune into your live and stuff like that, and you're now making extra money. If truth was actually, if you were able to get that type of evidence that God exists, you would stop making money and you would change your story, even if it
Yeah,
made
if
you
somebody actually showed me
unpopular.
this was true, I would still be a Christian if this book actually made sense and this God wasn't an unjust narcissist.
Yeah, got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Well, look, man, I gotta have you on my show, bro. I'm totally fascinated. First of all, I love that we can have a conversation, man. I'm gonna message you and send you the information. But I would love for you to just go through the network and debunk, like find whatever you want to find and debunk as much stuff, and then we'll do the episode based off all the information that you gather.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I'll,
You
I'll
want to
pay
know how
you
much
for it,
money I've
bro.
made so far this live?
I'll pay you for it.
That's cool. I'll take it.
Good.
Yeah. So you want to know how much money I've made so far this live?
How much?
I've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. How much you think I've, just take a wild guess. How much you think I've made so far?
$2.
I've made $5.63 actually.
Right. No, that you're doing it,
Get that
brother.
Porsche later.
Right, but that's my thing is it's
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing this for the money.
oh no, I'm just saying that when it gets down to that point, it's like what type of I guess integrity, when things start, especially when success and everything, because if you start to believe, then you lose your atheist support immediately. And if it's like, would you be okay with that? Because a lot of times people get afraid.
I
Like
was okay with losing my Christian support.
yeah, like Christians really support, brother. Come on.
I mean, they did me.
No.
That's why most people go to church, I think, still, is because of the support groups there. Like, they do support each other.
It's so funny because I'm also a pastor, and most Christians talk about how the church doesn't do enough. You know what I mean?
I'm sure everybody's got their opinions, but I mean, churches, at least in America that I know of, churches contribute an enormous amount to charity, and I mean a lot.
Yeah, yeah, but maybe financially, in a sense, like the total amount that churches bring in is about 72 billion of untaxed money collectively across America. $72 billion. Most of that money doesn't go back into the community, unfortunately.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
72
believe me.
billion.
But they
Yes.
still do a ton of charity, though. Like, I know people personally, they do a crazy amount of mission work and, uh, like donation and stuff like that. I know a bunch of
Oh,
them
yeah,
around here
yeah.
that do that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean is that there's difference between people of faith and church culture because a lot of churches are just trying to survive. They're just trying to stay available. But then
Yeah, I agree.
you have devout believers that really believe and they go and show love and take care of the poor and the widows and they really do it. So those are two
Well,
different
I
things.
think people just like to help each other too, though. I don't think it's necessarily just because of church. I think you could take out every church in America right now, and people are still going to help each other because people like helping each other. That's what we do as humans. Christians. We're
I
shitty to
saw.
each other too. Don't get me wrong, but we do both. Like we're all sides of the spectrum.
I agree 100%. I saw it 2 months ago firsthand. This guy ran. I was coming from Indianapolis. This guy ran off the road into a tree, and I run over there. The car catches on fire. And they actually did a news story on it. If you look it up, if you look up Duke White Jr., they did a news story on it. But I start breaking out the glass to pull the guy out, and I can't get the car open. Well, I watch black, white, Hispanic, everybody with the car on fire rip the car apart. You know how ants jump on a piece of food? Rip the car apart to save this guy. He ended up dying 4 days later, but I watched everybody put their life at risk. And they didn't care if they were Christian, atheist, black, white, whatever. They just came together.
Exactly.
And, so I agree with that 100%. You know, my,
Well, I think
my
people these days too, especially like with all the like we were talking about the Book of Eli and shit. Like I think people have the general idea that if shit goes down, that people are going to eat each other, and they might do that to some degree. But historically, there is a ton of examples where people were put in really bad situations and they came together. They didn't go apart. Like they helped each other. Like that's how we survive, is helping each other. So I don't even think you can totally make the argument that we're going to eat each other if stuff goes bad. You know what I mean?
because like even if you use something like the Holocaust, there were Germans that were still hiding Jews
Yeah,
during
yeah.
slavery. During slavery, there were white people that fought for blacks. They were fighting for the freedom. So I
Yeah.
agree. And I think where the problem comes in is where Christians think that they're the only one, that they've monopolized morality. And it's like if you're an atheist, it's impossible for you to be loving, kind, to care about people because you're an
Right.
atheist.
Yeah, they argue with people all the time that say that. Yeah.
Yeah. And and I guess
Just
that's
makes
what
them look bad.
yeah. And I think there's vicious versions of every belief out there. But I do know this though. What's getting ready to happen to America, we've got to figure this unity thing out, because with the rise of Islam coming, that's already here. These guys are not playing. I don't know if you know this, but the Islamic faith in 1600 years has killed more people than the Roman Empire in its entirety. It's killed over 270 million people in 1600 years since its conception, and now it's here. And this is not another religion like Christianity or anything like that. This is about dominance. They're consumed. Like if they're going to be a good Muslim and go by the Quran, the only way they can get into heaven is by killing Christians and Jews and atheists. It's the only way. It's the only way. They're commanded by their book to kill the the non-believers. So they're
Technically,
focused.
the Bible commands them Christians to do that, but Christians don't listen. Is the difference? Most
No,
Muslims
no.
don't even listen.
Well, so that's the difference. Is that in the New Testament, when Jesus gives this revelation, he talks about ruling people's hearts, not ruling over nations. He talks about ruling people's hearts, and then that brings the nations. That's what he really wants, is our heart. Not and that's what ends up ruling the nations. We rule with our hearts. And so Jesus knows that if he gets the heart of a man and can rule over him, then the nation can come out. But what we're seeing with Muslims is they're saying no. They give you an opportunity to accept the Quran. If you don't, then they take you out. And I'm just saying that they're commanded by their book to kill Christians, Jews, and non-believers. And that's here right now, happening in America right
Yeah,
now.
but
And they're
hardly any of
rising.
them's actually doing that. Like I don't know a ton of Islamic people, but the ones I do know are just as peaceful as the next person. They would never do that.
Well, that's
What
why I
you're
said
talking
that
about?
they're not going by the Quran, because
That's what I'm saying. The Christians are doing the same thing. They don't actually go by the book.
right,
That's why they're
right.
not a big as threat as they can be.
Well, that's because it's happening over the conflict is happening more
That's why I think
overseas.
we need to drop all this altogether, though. We need to get rid of all
The
this.
the conflict is happening. Remember, we're not the majority of the world, so the majority of the world doesn't think like us. The majority of the world is overseas, so they actually have all the thinking. They think we think differently here in Western civilization because we have conveniences, comfortability. We have all these things that kind of disconnect us from the reality of what the majority of the world is actually going through. So we have a different thinking because of comfort zones, not because of right and wrong, but because we have more comforts, and comfort can be deceiving by itself. So
I agree. Yeah.
they're dealing with more of this battle of truth and evil, lies and what's really like. They're devoted over there. So even when Muslims or even Buddhists come over here, they will compromise a lot of their faith because of the comfort zones. You know what I mean? And so this is the thing is American culture is we don't really have a moral compass. We just have comfort zones that we like and appreciate that will defend those comfort zones. But it's really not an issue of right and wrong and what's true and lie.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because
I think that gets pretty complicated.
well, the thing is, if we go overseas with our same beliefs, they would impose their beliefs on us. Even as an American, if I go over there and
It
start
depends on
preaching
what you're
teaching,
talking about, but
well, let's look at Nigeria, for example. They're wiping thousands, hundreds of thousands of Christians out in Nigeria. You know what I
that's what
mean?
I've been hearing. But I'm not sure that's even totally true.
Oh, it's true. 'Cause I have a ministry over there as well. It's been over there for 10 years
Yeah, but I've
called.
already heard people that was from Nigeria that were saying they had no clue what the hell anybody's talking about. They were saying if that's what's going on, we didn't know about it. So if there's thousands of people being unalived over there, then it's awfully strange that people right in the middle of it don't know what's going on.
So the way that they did the cover up with what the persecution that was happening in Black America, and the way they put that in the media, to make it just look like blacks were just destroying the city and things like that, when in the early '60s, when that wasn't what was happening, there were people in the middle of the country where there were no black people thinking that blacks were just being rowdy and crazy, and they had no idea that they were being oppressed. So that's a
I
real
think we're
thing.
taking a odd turn here.
Oh no, I'm just saying that there's a reality that terrible things can
No, I
happen that
got you.
people
Well,
just don't know about.
right. Well, I think we'll pull this one here if you don't mind. But shoot me a message. I'll link up with you and come on whatever
All
you're
right,
talking about sometime.
let's do it, man. Talk to you later.
Sounds good, buddy. Have a good one. Well, that was a long conversation, not to be an actual debate. I usually don't even do that, but I guess it was cool. Besides, World to Fire. World to Fire is the only one in the queue, but I already dropped him. Let's see. Yeah, I think it totally depends. I mean, that seems like a real, in general, type argument there for that kind of stuff. So, let's see here. Almost 50,000 likes, y'all. I appreciate the shit out of it. That's I think the most I ever got was about 60. That's crazy how close that is when I've really only been on a few hours. I appreciate y'all. Y'all tap that screen for me. Let's try to get it some sort of like record here. That'd be awesome. Send somebody a reply there. All right. So if you're a Christian and you want to defend one of these topics up here, come on up. We're gonna have to stick to the topic. I did feel like some people might have got bored by that, but I was actually kind of like the conversation. I don't know. It was for me. It was a kind of nice to deviate once in a while. Honestly, gives me a little brain rest. Shit. He's a nice guy though. I don't mind. Yeah, and again, thank you everybody. This live has been crazy good as far as the numbers go. First day of the year too. That's always encouraging, isn't it? Yeah, it's only been 2.5 hours, and there's already been 2,000 people come through here. 15 new followers, made almost $6. Killing it, baby, killing it. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. The engagement's unreal here. It's shattering my expectations. I didn't even know if the channel was going to grow. When I first started this channel, I was like, who the fuck is going to listen to me? Like, I mean, I knew I could make some good points about the Bible and stuff, but I was like, well, like me for real. And then, what do you know? We got a channel that's blowing up good. Thanks to awesome people out there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really, really bored. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I don't know. But I appreciate y'all, all the likes, all the gifts, all the screen taps, the comments. It's what really keeps the channel growing. TikTok favors us at this point. Favors us highly. You got to keep in mind, too, if I've made, what does it say here? Let's see. If I've made $6, then that means TikTok has made like $11, $10 or $11 off the live. That's how much they keep. But they're the ones who pump us out too. JNFY no IF. Did you request up on purpose? She's been in here all day. I don't think she requested up though. Oh, okay, cool. I'll bring you up then. I was just making sure you've been here a while. I didn't see your request. So. All right, well, let's bring up Jay. JN, you there? No?
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're over 18?
Indeed. Yes. 19.
Cool. Awesome. So you got one of these topics you want to debate us on here?
Yeah. The idea that he fulfills zero prophecy and is a delusional man is absurd. Dual fulfillment is a cornerstone of Christianity, that at the second coming, any unfulfilled prophecies will be fulfilled. And he fulfilled several prophecies. Just because you disagree with the gospel saying that he did is irrelevant, such as being born of a virgin or being betrayed for 30 pieces of silver. You have to dispute what the Old Testament messianic prophecies were to deny that, and dispute what the gospel narratives say
I
happened
think all you got to do is read it.
to deny that. I mean, he was.
I think all you got to do is read it. It's pretty easy to deny, because if you actually read it, it don't have anything to do with what the New Testament says it does.
He was pierced for our transgressions, wounded for our iniquities. You have to disagree with that verse in the book of Isaiah and claim it doesn't apply to that. So that's your subjective claim that this isn't what it applies to.
It's a language fact. It doesn't say pierced.
You're saying he didn't fulfill it because you're saying it doesn't actually apply to him. These various
Well, he can't
verses.
fulfill something that doesn't say no. But I'm saying, even if it did say pierced, it's still not talking about that in the context of Isaiah. It's not about a guy.
I mean, you look at, the virgin birth, you'd have to go and claim, it said a sign, a woman will give birth. And that's not a sign. There's nothing unique about a young woman giving birth. It's a virgin, obviously, is the intent of that verse. And that's how it was translated in the Septuagint before he was even born. So it's obvious that that's what that meant.
That's not even what it actually says in the Hebrew.
The word can be interpreted as meaning that, even if it could also just mean young woman. A young woman of marrying age at that time was culturally assumed to be a virgin. I mean, she had just been married.
But it doesn't mean she was a virgin, and it doesn't mean a miracle happened.
There's no sign if it's just a young woman giving birth after having sex. It's clearly the sign is that it's a virgin giving birth. I mean, the verse says a sign will, it's a sign. It's prophetic. It's
right,
unique.
Right.
It's
the sign
unusual.
Is Emmanuel, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the whole Prince of Peace, all that. It's not literal legal given birth name. It's not, that objection that his name would have to actually be literally legally Emmanuel to fulfill the prophecies. That's not legitimate. That's like saying his name would have had to have been Prince of Peace, Mighty God, multiple titles, given that are mentioned in the Gospels by, the angel, revealing how he's, soon going to be born. I mean, it's not, that's where you'd have to go with that argument. And, the same thing is true of,
No, I go with a contextual argument. If you just read Isaiah 7 real quick, it don't have anything to do with the Messiah.
I mean, to go and, deny the atonement is to go and claim that the Messiah is going to go bring a bunch of temporary, like earthly, it's going to be like, earthly political unity. He's going to, he's just for the Jews. He's not for the Gentiles, all this stuff. That's not legitimate. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. He admitted straight up that he brought division and conflict. He did not bring, earthly unity, which is what you have to claim if you're some, like religious Jews are making the same objections you do. They make the exact same objections you do, these Orthodox Jews. And that's exactly what they would claim. He didn't bring peace. The Jews were persecuted.
Because the context is on their side here.
I mean, the reality is that if you're a Christ mythicist, that is particularly absurd if you're joining Dan Barker and Richard Dawkins and entertained it somewhat.
Well, I'm not a mythicist, but I know what chapter 7 of Isaiah is about, and it don't have anything to do with the Messiah. It's about the Assyrian invasion onto Judah.
If you, with your other objections, if you say that God is an unjust narcissist, you think that he's an unjust narcissist because he created humans and demanded they worship him and will inflict punishment upon them if they choose to reject him. Now, if humans won't exist without him and he is holy and good and righteous and worthy of worship, and we are obligated to worship him because he is perfect, then it is completely immoral and unacceptable and arrogant and despicable of us to refuse to submit to him, and we are worthy of punishment inflicted by him.
Definitely evil and unjust and a narcissist, so I think we're well within our rights to not worship this awful deity.
You wouldn't exist, nobody would, nothing would without him. It would be a worthless...
Sure we are, and we do.
I mean, it would be a worthless, meaningless accident if it did, which it couldn't. So if atheism was true, it would mean nihilism. It would mean amorality. It would mean everything and everyone is a worthless, temporary, meaningless accident. You have no...
No, that's just silly Christian ideals of everybody without their own ideals. That's the detriment they take on the world.
I mean, if you're not...
Like you're displaying right now.
If you're not created with a loving God who creates you with a purpose, then you have no inherent dignity or value. You really don't have...
So if somebody's not a Christian and they think about being a Christian, like obviously they're going to go steal a Bible to read because they have no morals, right?
God embeds a conscience within everyone so they are aware of what is morally right and morally wrong. That doesn't mean they have to abide by it. They choose to reject him with their behavior. And so I'm not saying that atheists don't know morality. I'm saying they don't abide by God's moral law and they act as if there is no morality.
Yeah, that's because God's moral law is a big, giant, bad joke.
To say that atheism equals amorality, atheists deep down know that atheism is not
just
true.
Means you don't believe in God. That's it.
It logically equals amorality. You would have to say that morality comes from
no, it doesn't.
Empathy or the inherent dignity of human beings, the inherent dignity of human beings. All of that is a bunch of horse crap without God because everything and everyone is a temporary accident and therefore has no real dignity
this
or
God's
value.
a bunch of horse crap, man.
I mean, to go and claim that, are you suggesting that there is an eternal, that this universe is eternal, or are you suggesting that, it was created from nothing and we don't know how?
I'm suggesting this God is awful.
Well,
based on the actual words of the book,
is there a Are you like George Carlin or Antony Flew when he died? Do you believe in a deistic, amoral God or something? Or do you believe in some
Nope.
non-Christian
I don't believe in any gods. I'm an atheist.
So you're an atheist. So how was the universe created, or is it eternal?
No idea.
So you really think that Christianity is so foolish and irrational, and yet you literally claim that you don't even know how the universe was created? Is that really?
I don't have to know. I don't have to know how the universe came about to know that this God is evil and this book is nonsense.
Yeah, and yet you claim that it's like irrational and absurd to believe that any God created the universe, though. I mean, isn't that, or at least
Well,
you
nobody
claim that
can
it's
prove
false?
it. This book says This book says God breathed on dirt and they turned into humans. Like, I'm supposed to believe that?
I mean,
Prove that.
he put the laws of nature into place, gravity, all of this. I mean, that's all his doing. He can violate it at will.
Did he breathe on dirt and a human popped out?
Absolutely. You can suspend them or violate them at will. I mean, he doesn't prove it irrefutably. That's the entire point of faith, is that you actually have to.
He doesn't prove it at all. He doesn't give any evidence of that or nothing. It's almost like this is a completely made up story by a bunch of Bronze Age Middle Easterners.
The evidence is the evidence that he exists, period, and that his word, the Holy Bible, is true. The evidence directly of, oh, this thing happened, like it's not on video camera. There's not going to be that sort of explicit proof that you are demanding. It's irrational to demand that because you don't base any.
Well, you're talking like it's some kind of ultimate truth. I would think you could prove something like that.
I mean, you can't prove that Julius Caesar was brutally stabbed to death, and you can't prove that the Prophet Muhammad ever lived. And historians agree on those things. I mean, you can't have that burden of proof that you're demanding here, that this absolute,
but you're talking about an ultimate truth of the universe. Well, like, you can't show us any evidence at all that this seems to be the case.
There is evidence that supports the Bible. There's Hezekiah, there's Omri, there's Cyrus. You have these historical figures in the Bible whose existence you cannot reasonably deny, whether it's Jesus Christ, Pontius Pilate, King David, the prophet Jeremiah. Historians do not seriously object to their historical existence. Nebuchadnezzar, I mean,
yeah, that's fine. I think Jesus was probably a real person, but if you're going to tell me he grew wings and flew around in the sky, then you got a lot bigger burden to fill.
I mean, you believe one of a few things. You believe that either he was buried somewhere else to begin with and it was all a lie, or that the tomb was raided and that's why it was empty, his body was taken somewhere else, or you have to logically believe that he didn't actually die on the cross, this swoon hypothesis, he passed out and they didn't make sure he was dead or something. That's got to be your theory, or it just appeared as though he died on the cross and he didn't actually fainted, he went unconscious, man, the weather was rough, he was dehydrated, whatever. It's a bunch of crap. You either have to believe that or you have to believe that the apostles all lied and it was some conspiracy.
So you don't believe the Quran, do you?
The Quran, I mean, Muhammad did historically.
He was a real person.
He
He
historically.
was in a real place. He did real stuff. Why don't you believe that?
I honestly think that it seems like he legitimately was knowingly going against God's will, and actually Gabriel was literally a demon. I mean, he could hypothetically have just been making it all up, but regardless, I mean, he didn't suffer and die.
Maybe all this is made up.
He didn't suffer or die for his bullshit. And if you're suggesting that the apostles brutally were martyred and endured horrific pain and suffering for something that they knew.
I don't think there's any evidence of that at all.
Clearly there is. Tacitus.
There ain't in the Bible.
Tacitus, yeah. In the Bible explicitly talks in Acts of the Apostles and in Paul's epistles about the horrific suffering that Paul and the other apostles endured. It talks about James the apostle being martyred. But I mean, I think when you look at the Saint Stephen.
How do you get to this magic stuff being real? I can accept that Jerusalem's a real place and Jesus is a real person. Get me to God breathed on dirt and a human popped out.
You can believe in miracles and supernatural divine intervention if you believe that God is all-powerful, all-knowing, infinite.
You'll believe anything if you believe that, though.
I mean, he's not confined by or bound by the laws of nature. And that's what you're pointing out is, this can't happen because physics. This can't happen because gravity. This can't happen because science.
I have no reason to think it can happen if nobody can demonstrate that.
he doesn't just go performing miracles about willy-nilly. You would have no faith in him if he just did that. It would just be based on, oh, he just confronted me with
I would
this.
love for Jesus to show up and show me a miracle. I got a bad cold right now. If he showed up and healed me, I would definitely worship Jesus.
I think you would claim that it was a hallucination and a coincidence. I think, you
I
know,
wouldn't. I just told you.
I mean, I think when you look at the supernatural and you're saying, oh, we haven't seen any of this stuff, if God's word is accurate, then those miracles occurred, and therefore miracles could reasonably still be occurring as Christians claim that they do, or divine intervention could still be occurring as Christians clearly believe, and you're disagreeing with them based on the fact that they can't.
Because clearly none of them can prove it. Why are there millions and billions of people saying all these things happen and not a single stinking one of them can come up with any sort of convincing evidence or argument?
The argument from divine hiddenness, you act like you're the first one to point this out, or that it like nobody's ever responded to it in depth. I mean, if you're not going to actually trust God and have faith in him, then he's not just going to.
It's not even real.
He's not just going to show up and force some, you know, relationship onto you without you actually agreeing to accept and trust him. It's not.
Like, I was a Christian for almost 30 years, man. Like, if God was going to show up and show himself, he would have done it already.
I mean, even if once saved, always saved isn't true, you still may have never been saved, to be quite honest. And even if you were and you fell over.
Y'all say that all the time.
Well,
like, you know,
I mean,
people's hearts and minds better than they do.
if
Arminianism.
This is one
of the reason y'all lose credibility with people, because when you say stuff like that and people know you're bullshitting, they just assume you're bullshitting with everything else.
It's
so it
legitimately accurate because he says,
No,
he says, I never knew you. He doesn't say I used to know you. So some of these self-identified Christians were never saved. But what I'd say is, even if Arminianism is true, sure, I mean, I'm not a Calvinist. I'm willing to say that if once saved, always saved is false, well, you still could have lost your salvation because you did not endure to the end, quite frankly. So you didn't pass the test. You chose not to continue to trust in God. You disowned him. He disowned you. I mean, you rejected him. He rejected you. So I think.
Yeah, I fell away, yeah.
So yeah, you fell from grace. So I think that, you know, him not helping you, I mean, this temporary struggles that he allows are so your existence actually has more meaning, in that your relationship with him is not an easy thing. It's not forced. It's a choice on your part that you actually have to agree to make. And
it was a choice I made for 30 years, and then all of a sudden I need a test.
Well, I mean, your entire life is.
It's so silly.
I mean, your entire life.
Hey, the 30 years you believed in me ain't good enough. I need to test you again to make sure you're being cool.
Everyone's life is full of tests of various sizes, temptations, trials, tribulations, and so you know that was a more major one that it wasn't a test of. Am I going to go, you know, lust after this man's wife, or, you know, have sex with her or whatever, commit adultery? It wasn't some minor test like that in comparison to, am I going to reject God Almighty himself and become an atheist, which is what you failed to reject, that temptation from Satan, quite frankly. I mean, you gave into your sin nature there, quite frankly. That was a choice on your part to no longer believe.
Yeah, I do love sin, yeah.
To choose to no longer believe, it was a choice on your part. It was deliberate, obviously. It was your free will being misused by you.
It wasn't deliberate. I actually studied the Bible, and it came up with a bunch of nonsense, so I stopped believing it.
I mean, you're saying, oh, he allows suffering and he allows pain, and oh.
No, he causes suffering, not allows. He causes it.
For the most part, it's actually that he allows.
And he causes it for his own stinking little glorification, so he can toot his own little horn and think he's the biggest, baddest ruler in the universe because the little humans don't like him anymore. It's pretty sad, man.
Well, I mean, that's completely inaccurate because
it's not. That's what it says.
For a lot of it, that's inaccurate. For a lot of it, it's about free will and moral accountability, so that, you know, your existence has more meaning because you actually have to abstain from acting on the temptation to sin. So it's humans inflicting it, humans molesting.
No, I love to sin.
It's humans molesting human children. It's humans raping animals.
It's God making them do it.
He's not making them do it. He's allowing them to be tempted.
It says he is.
It does not say that. It says that. It does say that he. It says that he allows suffering to produce endurance and character.
No,
Yes,
it
but
says he causes it. He says, I'm going to make this happen.
to say that, oh, you're citing that whole like I create evil thing, that's completely out of context. He does bring
Okay,
up,
so when it says I create evil, it doesn't mean that God created evil?
I think by evil it could mean disaster or destruction or calamity, suffering, pain, that
It
sort of
can
thing.
mean that.
It doesn't mean moral evil. It doesn't mean that he went and had
Yeah, but he does cause moral evil. He
not
has babies dashed to pieces in front of their parents. He has women raped. He has pregnant women ran through with a sword. Like, this is God making these things happen.
You're talking about violence. That's a killing. That's different than when you say the rape thing. You're presupposing that these
you
women
can't say that on TikTok, man. You got to say great.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't know that. You're suggesting that these women did not want to marry these men. If their husbands were dead, realistically, I'm pretty sure they saw those guys as like strong and masculine conquerors, and they had no more provider, and they willingly chose to
You
marry
have
those
got
dudes.
to be shit, man.
I mean,
that
that's
is one of the most disgusting things I've ever
They don't
heard
have anyone
fall
to
out of
provide
somebody's
for them.
disgusting
It's
ass
reality.
mouth,
It's
man.
reality.
That
They
is
don't
so
have
gross.
anyone
That is
to
an
provide
awful
food,
thing to say.
shelter.
You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself for saying that kind of shit.
I mean, even if they love their husbands, they have nobody to provide food or shelter for them. So either way,
man, I usually do like totally free speech in here, but like that was unbelievably off the charts disgusting. Like, wow. Well, 2026 is starting off with a bang. Yeah, and I swear, I just violated my own free speech policies. Well, he was talking a lot there too. I was starting to push off the word. But that's what I usually want people to hear, that kind of stuff. I want people to hear the dribble that comes out of people's mouths like that. And for people to hear it, you have to let them say it, actually. But no, that was so blatantly bad that just can't hear it, man. That was absolutely awful. You should be completely ashamed of yourself. No human should ever let those words fall out of their mouth. I'm saddened for humanity that people actually feel that way. How horrible, how disgusting. Wow. Just wow, man. You really need to reevaluate yourself, because as bad as that was, I think you can still change and jump, especially since you're a young fella. Yeah. You got to change. That was awful. And woo. Wow, wow, wow. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm going to go throw up real quick. That's why I do this, and that's what I was telling that guy earlier. I don't even think most Christians are dangerous. Some of the Christians I know are the best motherfuckers I ever talked to. But that's the danger right there. That's it. That's what you hear. Dude, you know what? I gotta block you, man. That was absolutely horrible. You can't even come back here. That's so disgusting. Big manly conquerors. Holy fucking shit. It's amazing when you have such low expectations for what people are going to say and you still end up this disappointed. Holy shit. Like, my mind gets blown day after day when you think you've heard it all. You think you've heard it all. Big manly conquerors, huh? Hey, here's the saviors of these poor little girls. Oh, shit. Oh, what's up, Dr. Josh? Hello. Oh, good new year to you. We're starting it off good, aren't we? Oh, boy, oh, boy. Let me try Nico. Maybe Nico's still here. Jeez Louise. Nico, you there?
Hey man, how's it going?
What's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yeah, that's for sure. That happened about 20. I'm 46 now, so.
Oh, I hear you. Well, are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Cool, man. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on here? You ain't gonna say nothing bad like that last guy, did you?
No, I definitely try to keep it civil, and unfortunately, you know,
Well, he was being civil. He wasn't being that bad, I didn't think. But wow.
Yeah,
what an
I think
unbelievably horrible thing to say.
Yeah, from both sides of the conversation, we have to take account that we might bring gold of information towards one another, but we might receive it as lead. And by saying that, unfortunately, sometimes a person that is of opinion is not ready for any new information or a displacement of information, and that comes both ways. We have to learn
Sure.
from each other. But my question to you is, in your personal walk in life, don't you? This is an example of how I gauge the moral dichotomy of what is actually life, and that it can actually assert that we are actually in a creation. Because my question to you is, do you just mentioned now you love sin, right?
Yeah.
You engage in sin, right? But my
Yeah.
question to you is, do you now and again have a moral conversation in yourself, like, oh, I shouldn't really do that, but you step over that threshold anyway?
No,
So,
not really.
so for that example, I'm saying you've kind of given yourself over to your fleshly nature, because let's say, for instance, you have the option, for instance, a loved one, your mother. You don't want to lie to your mother, you in all aspects.
Yeah,
But
I don't lie to
unfortunately,
my mom.
okay, so that was a moral compass and a conscious decision that you're saying, well,
What
I
if lying's the
respect this
better
person.
moral choice?
Correct. So by respecting that questioning of, I'm not going to lie to this person because I love this person, but you would perhaps lie to your mother, a white lie, to not hurt her feelings. Correct.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
that goes with the flow. But my what I'm trying to state is, that this fracturing between the flesh willingly to step over and indulge in a fleshly nature of lying and stealing and fornicating and drugs and all this pravity
No,
that
I don't
might
do none
come
of
with.
that.
Not saying you do, but I'm giving it as an example. But
Right.
if in a moral, conscious decision that you override it, then you're saying your moral compass is no longer willing to permit yourself to be in these parameters. So
No, my moral compass is fine. That's why I like sinning, because I think it's the most moral choice.
So in the Bible, it states that is the searing of the consciousness. You've seared your conscience.
Well, you know what sin is according to the Bible, don't you?
Correct. But by giving yourself over to that fleshly nature, you have now indulged yourself.
No. I'm saying, what is sin according to the Bible?
Sin is basically going at your fleshly nature. It's giving yourself over. Well, how do you interpret sin?
Well, the Bible says sin is transgression of the law.
Correct, but I think also you have to.
So when the law says you have to throw rocks at people until they're unalived for trying to go to other gods, I take delight in sinning because I'm not throwing rocks at them until they're unalived.
So my question to you is, do you say the 10 Commandments are still in effect then? Is that why you left Christianity? You don't believe in this whole 10 commandments?
No, there's way more commandments than 10.
Yeah, correct. But the 10 that were written on the tablets, that's a starting point.
Why would I just go with 10 when the Bible says if you were going to adhere to the Bible, you have to keep all of God's commands, not just 10?
Correct. But what I would like to address is that is actually under a different dispensation that would have accounted for that's complacency under the juridic laws. You must, if to say the biblical narrative, for the first 1,000 years there was no law. It was basically a moral compass, conscious decision whether or not you were good or bad. Then came along the Abrahamic laws. The Abrahamic laws is actually to display that it is actually impossible to keep the laws. It's impossible to raise yourself to the standard of God's standards. And then
it's not impossible. There's people who kept the law perfectly in the Bible. God even says in Deuteronomy that keeping the law is not too hard or far away from you. According to God, it's easy to keep.
We are no longer under that dispensation. We are under grace. Grace.
Yeah, that's what Christians think because of Paul, but it's not because of anything Jesus taught. Thank you for the heart.
Yeah, but you know that Jesus gave that ministry over to Paul. So we are under
No,
Paul's
Jesus never
ministry.
once says you're saved by grace. Not once.
Yes, he does. Ephesians 2:8-9.
Where?
It was quoted.
That's
It was
Paul,
quoted,
not Jesus.
but Paul was quoting Jesus.
No, he wasn't.
I'm quite sure he
You can
did.
write on a business card. Paul wrote over half of the New Testament, and you can write on a business card how many times Paul quotes Jesus.
So if to state that love be the whole of the law, that would actually encapsulate all of sin and all of the law. If you are lovingly permitting yourself to indulge in sin, sin is an act of going in defiance against the main law of love. By love, you do not lie to your mother.
Sin is
By love,
transgression of the law.
but we are no longer under the law. We're under grace.
Well, not according to Jesus. You know, God said the laws are going to be kept all the days you live on this earth. And Jesus says these laws will not pass or change until heaven and earth pass away. And since heaven and earth are still here, I'm assuming the law is still in effect, according to Jesus.
So by fulfilling the death, burial, resurrection, what is Jesus clearly stated in Revelations 1:18, it is I that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore, and have the keys to hell and death. That is actually what is an effect of sin. Hell and death came into this creation because of the sin curse. So by fulfilling it, he's stating now there's a change. That's from Jesus' mouth directly. The change has occurred. He's resurrected.
Jesus says the law will not pass until heaven and earth pass away.
But I think, and I'm not trying to be argumentative, but you're cherry picking at the moment. You're saying,
No,
I
no,
like
I'm
this
reading.
part of
I'm
it, I
quoting
like that
directly
part
from the
of it.
Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
If that's cherry picking, I guess I'm cherry picking, but I'm quoting Jesus verbatim when he talked about this law and when it's going to be fulfilled.
But I think what is, so your standpoint from rejecting Christianity is, reading your comment up here, it says he was just a narcissistic God.
Good question. So do you think you're under the law or not?
No, I'm under grace, 100%.
Okay, so which one of the 10 commandments would apply to you today if you're not under the law?
None of them.
Exactly. So why keep any of it?
Because we are under grace. That miracle.
If you're under grace, then there's no penalty for the law. You can't sin. That's what Paul says. He says the law is abolished.
But let me try to explain it to you in a sense of what that actually achieves. A merciful God saying you can never be to my standards. So because you can never raise to my
God doesn't say
standards,
that.
Yes, he does. Because you can
No,
never.
he doesn't. He says the opposite. He says these laws are not too hard or far away from you.
Look, the writing of the laws on your heart is a moral compass. If you are fulfilling everything by love, you would obviously not want to steal and cheat and lie. It is a moral conscious decision that by love you are fulfilling the laws. It's not saying I'm going and raging against the laws. It's saying love is fulfilling the law. Love be the whole of the law now. That's what Jesus states.
I'm saying God says these laws are not too hard or far away from you.
Okay, man. Well, look, I
like
just
God is literally saying that it's easy.
I'll just, maybe because you have a slight misunderstanding, and you can stay on your path, my friend, right? But I'll just give you this before I gotta go. Time is short. I actually have to go somewhere, but I'll just give you one more message. Because of the death, burial, and resurrection, because Jesus paid the ultimate price on the cross for your sins, that precious blood atonement has now sanctified.
Hey, I hear you, buddy, but go ahead and do your stuff. I don't need a sermon, man. We all know the doctrine. We all know what it says. Thanks. Anyway, well, I know what it says. But anyway, it says, do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to fulfill. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Well, that's not cherry picking. That's Jesus saying the law is going to stand until heaven and earth pass away. It should be pretty clear. How it's not, I don't know. Actually, I do know, but still don't know technically. Anyway, Dr. Josh, my man, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody, actually. Welcome to January 1st, 2026. Where we at here? Still looking great on the numbers here. Don't have a Christian in the queue. What? Oh, wait, no, that was the guy. Already booted that guy earlier again. Okay. Well, if you're a Christian and you want to talk to us, come on up. I still got a little while. World to Fire, I already talked to you. You couldn't stay on track, man. I dropped you for a reason. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you one more shot since there's nobody here, but you're going to have to stay on track and address what we're actually talking about, all right? So let's try it one more time.
So human beings do
Buddy.
have grace.
What?
I said, so human beings do have grace.
No, they don't.
You just showed me some. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good pun there. I didn't get it.
Okay, no problem. I would like to apologize too because I'm still getting used to what I can and can't say on TikTok. So
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
I
I
ain't
get
holding
it.
you to that.
Yeah, I'll make this real quick for you. I'm not gonna get on the narcissist thing, whatever, but there's a whole other topic on that. So I did want to address something real quick. You said you believe empirical data, correct?
Well, I said, well, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Do you believe in things that don't have empirical data?
Not that I know of.
Okay. How about I actually agree with your last statement, like love. Love cannot be empirically proven, but we have
Well, I
evidence to
said you
show.
can't measure it with a number, but you can
Correct.
measure it in many shapes and forms, yeah.
You can only measure what it has produced, not the thing itself, which would be that sense of non-empirical. So I would agree with you with that. But for example, other things too is you brought up the idea of breath on life on dirt by means of breath, right? We come from breath on dirt, right?
Well, according to one part of Genesis, yeah.
Yes, and I would agree with you. It says that perfectly. And would you agree? Would you believe that in this point that maybe Christians have a better view of the beginning of life versus atheism?
You mean that compared to what, like science or something?
No, that compared to I would say abiogenesis.
Oh, yeah. So, no, I think abiogenesis has way more data than
Okay,
this book does.
cool. Just out of curiosity now. No, I've gotten this debate several times, and I even talked to Scientific Snitch, a very intelligent woman, very intelligent, and I've read a lot of the work. I brought up a very controversial topic, and a question was in the debate was, what is the definition of life according to science? I did not know it was going to open up the can of worms, but apparently it did. But the scientific consensus right now from every major university in the world that I have researched in the past 3 weeks has come to the conclusion that it is a hypothetical. Abiogenesis is based upon the best scientific data of hypotheticals. It has theories about the hypothetical, but abiogenesis in itself is indeed a hypothetical. So my
Yeah,
question
but
is,
it's based on actual evidence.
well, here's the thing. We know this, that life, as of right now, biogenic life has only come from life. And intelligence can only come
So,
from intelligence. Therefore, I can
so you're
conclude,
saying God is a biological life form?
I'm saying it has come from a life, some type of life.
Oh, some type, not biological life. So as long as there's like a spirit life can make biological life.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay, well that's weird, but go ahead.
No, yeah, right. But in the idea of it, we do come from the dirt. Now, I don't think we disagree on this. We are going to agree on this. You believe we come from the primordial soup. I believe we come from the primordial soup of goop. The only difference is that I believe I come from the dirt and the mud. You believe we come from the dirt and the mud. I believe that some life, intelligent life, made us, and I can conclude that because I am an intelligent living thing. Well, maybe not the intelligent part, but well, I'll say
The first life, according to science, was a single cell, not an intelligent life form necessarily.
100%. We could say life, but abiogenesis is a hypothetical. I don't have enough faith.
Nature always works from the bottom up, not the top down.
Okay, that's great. But if entropy, law of entropy, we got other issues going on there with that. That's why it remains a hypothetical. There's things in it that they can't.
Well,
It
if you're
cannot be
going to
proved.
introduce magic on top of all of what we're talking about, you're just going to have a whole lot more stuff to prove, really.
Well, no, I'm not talking about in the sense of something illogical here. I'm talking about I can conclude that I come from life. Life comes from life. And if life one time didn't exist, it can't exist without life
Yeah, but
creating it.
you're getting lost in that argument anyway, because you're not saying it can come from biological life. So biological life is capable of like reproduction and stuff like that. So you're just going to have to say there's like some kind of magical source. Like that's not getting you to life makes life.
Well, that's the scientific principle of which we know right now. Whether you go back to Miller-Urey
No.
experiment or the recent August experiments versus in the past 2022, they can replicate acids, but they don't get life. They don't get the building blocks. You don't get RNA. You don't get DNA. You don't get programming. You don't get these
Yeah, but
types
I'm
of
saying you don't
things.
get none of that from spirits either.
It can only come from life. Now, I'm not talking about spirit hooky pooky. I'm talking about it can
Yeah,
only
but if
come
you're
from
going to be
something.
talking about life can only come from life, then you
Yes.
actually have to show that it did come from life. And if you're saying biological life, then you have to say it came from biological life, not spiritual life.
Well, this is where I brought up empirical data and the idea of testing it like love. I can prove, therefore, if I exist, I know that something that is intelligent life form exists. It's an example of I can know that human beings can only live off of food and water, and I don't see food and water, but I see human beings thriving. I know there's food and water.
Yeah, okay, that's not analogous to a spirit making biological life.
Well, I never said the word spirit making biological life. I just said it has
Well,
to
that's
come
what you
from
meant,
life from
though, isn't it?
life. Of course, that's what I
What is
believe.
God then?
Of course,
Okay,
that's what I believe.
yeah, okay.
But I'm just saying is that I'm not using the word spirit or anything. I'm just saying you could give it the name of Aphodot if you want, whatever you want to call it. But I'm saying at least I know that life comes from life and intelligence comes from intelligence. I can conclude there's an intelligent
Well,
living life out there.
well, I think what you're saying is very misleading. You have to say biological life only comes from spirit life, not just life comes from life. That's very misleading. You're making it sound like biological life can only come from other forms of biological life, but that's not what you're saying.
Well, that is absolutely true too. Only
Yeah.
biological life can come from biological life. There's abiogenesis is a complete hypothetical that has never been proven in any scientific lab. Matter of fact,
Yeah, well, it hasn't qualified as a scientific theory, but it's backed up by all kinds of evidence. Like if there's 7 steps to how life came about naturally, we know 5 of them. We just don't have all of them. That's why it doesn't qualify as a theory, because the theory has to be absolutely 100% explainable and sound.
well, it just needs to be replicatable, but it's not replicatable, which means it can't be proven. Well, empirically. But what is proven empirically is that life comes from life and intelligence comes from intelligence. No computer ever programmed itself. No biological life ever just spontaneous. Matter of fact, if you look at the statisticians from Harl Marwitz on that, it was amazing. An atheist. Harl Marwitz said it'd be the equivalent of if I may paraphrase it, it's like a tornado blowing through a random junkyard and perfectly assembling a 747.
No, I don't think so.
Right, I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you.
Like if there's amino acids that can arise naturally, and we have proved that amino
Yes.
acids, RNA, this is all naturally self-rising and self-replicating. This stuff is all over the universe, right? So all you need is a planet like Earth to come along for point some odd billion years ago, right? And all you need is those ingredients with the right stuff, the right earth, the right temperature, the right water, the right elements. Like it was all of that. Life is inevitable once you meet those criteria, just like a tornado is inevitable when certain conditions in nature meet each other and cause a tornado. Like it's inevitable that it's going to happen.
Here's an idea. This is where Harl Marwitz got this from. He said if you were to take the simplest cell and separate it and wait for it to go back together in the perfect environment with a little encouragement, it would be the equivalent of 1 to the 127,000th power of, I might be blue in the numbers there a little bit, but it's an astronomically ridiculous number. Okay? In other words, it wouldn't happen. Now, he's an atheist who says, wow, what
Okay.
a great idea is that
Big
we
numbers
lived.
don't impress me, man. The possibility of something happening that's already happened is 100%.
Well, oh no. That's the thing. If life has already happened, yes, I agree with you. Yes, 100%. But the point
Yeah,
of that is that
and we're
life,
here, so
exactly. I can conclude that I come from a life, an intelligent life at that, because I know that something has made this, whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Now, I just thought it was something to bring up in the conversation. I appreciate you allowing me back on. And yeah, I'll let somebody else get up here too for a while too with you. But I just want to bring up some things of that nature for you, whatever. And yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no problem. I don't usually get into like science arguments very much. There's way more qualified people than me to talk about that. But that's why I just stick to the Bible stuff and Christianity for the most part, because this is black and white. Like, I can show you what Jesus said and what he meant. And I have this strange delusion in my head that, like, people say, don't say this. And you're like, yes, it does. Then you read it to them, and they're like, oh, well, it says that, but it didn't mean that. Even though they didn't even know it said that just a second ago, they thought the complete opposite. Like, that's why that's why I like arguing this stuff, because that kind of stuff's interesting. But you can argue about abiogenesis and stuff that's not technically proven anyway until you're blue in the face, but you're not really going to get anywhere. I want debates that are won or lost. Like, oh, holy shit, I got 61,000 likes. Thank y'all. I wish I could send you all some sort of prize. That's fucking awesome. But yeah, so I try to keep it to black and white. I think that's why the channel is growing so much, because I use material that's kind of like in your face kind of stuff. Instead of I actually really enjoy like the Monkey Boys channel, like that does philosophical arguments and stuff. Like, I enjoy those, but I'm not sure anybody actually ever wins them, in the sense that somebody walked away thinking they got destroyed in the debate. And that's what I like to see personally. It's like I've said it a couple times already, but Rome had this saying. They said your enemy isn't vanquished if they don't consider themselves so. So of all the debates I've seen in all my years, which is a fucking lot, I've been obsessed with debates for nearly a decade now. But and all of them I've ever seen, like, I felt like somebody won, but there wasn't actually a clear-cut winner, hardly ever. And I was like, man, we have got to figure out some sort of way we can. So that's why I like spent a long time selecting all this material, listening to, like, I'm a culmination of all the other people, you know what I mean? All the people I've listened to over the years. But I've selected these arguments because I think they are black and white, and because we're going to get to somebody's right and somebody's wrong. And I think that's what people really want to see here. And, you know, we don't always get there, but I think I'm set up in the best way possible I know of to actually get there. So that's pretty cool, I think. Maybe that's why the channel's growing so well, because we bring up we go for the ideal jugular here. We don't dance around cosmological arguments and big bangs. If you're a Christian and you're going to defend your faith, come do it. Come do it. That's all we got to do. Same, Claudia. I was shocked to learn how many atheists are atheists because they actually read the Bible. Most of them, actually, apparently. But I had no idea before I started this channel. There was one time I had a shitload of people on it. I asked everybody, I said, if you're an atheist, put a 1 in the chat if you're an atheist because you read the Bible. Like, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Like, it was crazy. What up, Henry? What's going on? Well, all right. No Christians in the queue at the moment. Oh, well, you didn't actually have to put a 1 in there. I was just saying. I was just saying. All right, too. I got a YouTube channel that's Apostate 8. If you want to check out my replays, I probably got 600 hours of content over there. So check out my YouTube, please. Subscribe to that. Check out the replays. I got them from way back in the day. Not way back in the day. It was several months ago, but certainly good shit you've missed if you like this type of thing. Dad facts, absolutely. The Bible is that's why I try to get people to read the Bible so much. Like, that's why I'm so willing to give people an olive branch and say, hey, look, if you don't agree with me on the context and you're not sure, like, just go read it and come back. Sending somebody away to read the Bible is a fucking win. It's a win. That's why I let them off so easy most of the time. I'll say, look, just go read it and come back. Get your context down. Like, know what you're talking about. I'd prefer we're both on the same page here. It'd be great. True. Yes. Basic reading comprehension at that. You don't have to be a genius to get what's going on here. Don't get me wrong, it does say a bunch of stuff that scholarly interpretations and historical references and context are really important, sure. But I mean, for the most part, it says what it means. And it's pretty clear. Especially books like Jeremiah. I mean, it's straight up to the point, yo. Where Isaiah is much harder to interpret because it's written poetically. So the actual context, you got to piece stuff together a lot more because of the way it's written. But Jeremiah, screw that. It's straight up. It says, if this fixed order were to ever cease from my presence, says the Lord, then the offspring of Israel will cease to be a nation before me forever. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to know that those words are saying, if this fixed order were to ever cease from my presence, then the offspring of Israel will cease to be a nation before me forever. It's pretty fucking clear. Pretty darn clear, ain't it? Let's see here. Alright, let's see. What we got? Where we at? Alright, so nobody in the queue. I'll tell you what, we'll give it like 5 more minutes and see if we'll get another one in here before 11, and we'll if we don't get somebody in about 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and already been on for 3 hours and 20 minutes, actually way longer than I thought already. We'll give it a minute though. I still feel good. I ain't gotta go back to work till tomorrow, so let's see. You remember that guy earlier? Let's talk about the Big Bang. I said I ain't never heard of that shit. He still kept trying to argue about what I believe about the Big Bang. Oh, people are like so scripted sometimes it's crazy. Like, no matter what, they will not deviate from like their path of speaking or thought or whatever. I don't know. That was pretty wild. That was funny. That's why I like saying off the wall shit. I actually had somebody message me one time said they said I've been watching your show now and like a lot of what you say seems inconsistent. And I was like, some parts, yeah. Because I say different shit like that to make different points in arguments, bring it, shake it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But that is why some of the stuff I say, change what I mean or what I'm saying just to make different arguments. But I haven't actually shifted, I don't think, or been too inconsistent with my cores of the arguments here, if you will. Oh, shit. Maybe we got somebody. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they can make up a story. Why can't they make a story? I imagine not. I don't know how many people might have been here, but one time I had an argument that I was saying I thought life just poofed into existence. And they were like, that's freaking crazy. And I was like, well, you think that too? You just think a God did it. I think we just spontaneously, like, popped up. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, that's crazy. And I'm like, well, it's crazy to say that a God did it. We just clearly just poofed into existence. We didn't need a God. And they're like, no, a God had to poof us into existence. But that was one of my favorite ones. I even had somebody comment on the YouTube channel. I had somebody comment on that video. They said that was one of the best arguments they ever heard. I was like, thank you. That was a genius there. Yeah, if you recall that one. I felt pretty good about that.
Yo, what's up, dude? How are you?
Bonnie, you there? Hey, what's up? I'm good. Are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 31 years old. What's your YouTube channel, brother?
Do I know?
What's your YouTube?
Oh, the same thing. Apostate 8.
Hey, cool. Debate
Yeah.
former
So
Christian.
you're a Christian?
Yeah, I don't even want to debate you, bro. It's all good,
Oh.
But yeah, I believe in Jesus. I'm not even trying to debate you. Because
Oh, okay.
there's
Well, I
no point.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, brother. So it's the same thing.
Well, there's a point, but yeah, I hear you. Well, thanks for coming up and telling us you didn't want to debate. There you go, Leslie. Yeah, that was a real question. That's right. There you go. It was odd, but people are odd, aren't they? It didn't do nothing else taste there. Thanks, atheist. No debate. No debate. Scared. I love that word. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I put all these replays up on there every day. And this is my 57th day in a row of debating. Yeah, I hear you, man. You don't have to debate if you don't want to. I'm not forcing anybody on the stage, man. You have to request up. Anyway, we gotta give it another minute or two and see what happens here. Usually every time I try to leave, people start sending me gifts and I always feel obligated as fuck to stick around a little bit longer. Hey, wait a minute. So I got something here. Got some sort of awards. Oh, I got another. Okay. Well, I did win something, but the prize ain't that great. What's that say? Can you even ground moral instantation of necessary preconditions of all being? Yeah, I think so. You know, don't ask me to prove it or anything, but yeah, I can do that totally. I can totally back that up. You know, maybe tomorrow. I don't feel like it right now. I just take it on faith most of the time. I've been doing that one more often too. They say, "Why would you think that?" I'm like, "Oh, just take it on faith." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "There's nothing wrong with that, is there?" And they're like, "Oh, of course not." That's my favorite one. That one is freaking hilarious. I'll get right on that tomorrow, by the way. Oh yeah, they say horrible, horrible things. We hear it all the time. God, the one dude earlier, that was, of all the bad things I've ever heard, like that was one of the most disturbing, that's for sure. Like, how the fuck, how do you even get to that conclusion? Like, holy shit. That was wild, man. That was a wild, wild thing to say. Made me physically sick to hear something like that. Like, what the fuck? And if you wasn't around, a guy brought up the little girls being war captives. And he said, well, you know, to them, get my garbage can before I even repeat that shit. But he was saying to them, they would have saw their conquerors as like big, manly conquerors, and that would have been like attractive to them or some shit. Fucking wow. It's unbelievable the dribble that falls out of people's mouths in the modern age. That's crazy, man. That's what religion does to you, man. That's why I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, sometimes the human brain tries to rationalize things like that. Something you want to believe, and like, that's sick as fuck, but that's how he did it. That's how he tried to rationalize awful shit like that happening. But what can we say, man? That is the brain rot that is religion, especially the Abrahamic ones. I think there's a good case to make that the Roman Empire fell because of Christianity. It only ever accelerated under the pagan gods. And then once Christianity came around, it was shrinking almost immediately. Almost immediately. Alright, we'll get... actually, we'll give it a nice number. I'll wait till 10:40 there, but we'll cut it off. We don't get somebody else up in here. By the way, thank you everybody again for all the engagement today. 65,000 likes. Like, that is crazy good. I appreciate the shit out of all y'all. All the gifts, comments, engagements. Like, the channel, TikTok favors us, that's for sure. Because we are growing almost every time now. Almost every time. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing thing to see. Grow with me. Grow with the ape. Grow with the ape. Y'all see some of my friends we get up here now too. Clearly we roll in the best of circles, right? Hell yeah, we do. Hell yeah. We even had the illustrious Mizo up in the comments yesterday, being funny as fuck as usual. Then we got one of my all-time heroes, Dr. Josh. He comes in all the time. Everybody loves him, man. And I mean, everybody. The man's an inspiration of so many sorts. He empowered me with much of my knowledge about these topics, actually. Yeah, he came through. He came through, dog. That was pretty cool. He came through at a good time, too. We was talking about it's one he talks about all the time, the 2 Samuel 24 and 1 Chronicles 21. The guy was squaring up Samuel with Chronicles, and I Mezzo commented on it there. he said God and Satan inspired the book or whatever. It was funny as shit moment there. Where we at? 3 hours and 30 minutes today. Good connection. 2.4K. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. The channel is going absolutely crazy. And again, I hope everybody had a great New Year's last night. I hope you're having a good New Year's today. It's a good year for everybody. It is January 1st, 2026. Man, that's fucking crazy. I was 16 years old in the year 2000. It's fucking crazy. Man, that's wild math, man. Somebody born in, 2009? Technically now can be 18 years old. Holy shit, we get old, don't we? Scary. Yeah, I was actually wondering, I thought maybe today, like, I had my doubts, like, I streamed on Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I thought, obviously you think, like, people are going to be busy and shit and all this, but, like, especially my Christmas Day stream, it was freaking awesome, man. We had really good live on Christmas. It was like 140 people in here at one point, but I mean, really good. And then today I was like, well, shit, everybody be like hungover and shit, right? But it always seems to go good, almost no matter what. So I guess we're all just doing the same shit every day. So that's pretty awesome, though. But anyway, guys, I guess I'm gonna blow the stream out right here. It's been almost 5 minutes since we had anybody come through the guest queue, and that's a long time for us. But everybody, day 57 in the books. Tomorrow, day 58. Day 58. Let's see, we hit one of our gift goals there too. Yeah, that was awesome. Anyway, guys, I hope everybody had a great New Year. Hope you have a great New Year. Thank you, Satrical. Thank you. I feel like they're all pretty good now. Like, some of them so good, like the next day, I almost don't even want to do another show. I'm like, man, how can we? Like, yesterday was so good, it's going to be hard to top. But, like, it's almost like every day we have a damn good show, which I'm more used to, like, controlling what happens with, like, guests and stuff. Like, before, I was pretty timid about just dropping people because I thought it was, like, rude. But now we know how it is. We can't stay on topic. We're just keeping the debates up in here and shit, so it's always awesome. I have no idea. I was going to say somebody we could go raid, but I'm not sure who's live right now. Not sure how I could check. Does anybody know? Is anybody else able to check? And I can throw them a raid out for we leave. Maybe, like, is OA on or Blitz on? Dr. Blitz is on. Check out Dr. Blitz. He's badass. Outrageous Atheist, he might be on. Patrina, Monkey Boy might be on right now. I did like the Evidence First guy's channel, but he just turned into a fucking asshole, man. Like, He's distasteful even for me, even though I thought he was entertainment at first. But I actually unfollowed that guy. Even though I like his what's his name? Well, Skeptic. I actually like him a lot, but dude seems to be just a dickhead. Anyway, guys, I reckon we'll see y'all back in the morning. And once again, I appreciate everything. I hope everybody has an awesome day. Oh, I thought I had a guest I might have to bring up there for a second, but I didn't. No. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, we will catch y'all tomorrow. I appreciate the shit out of all of yous, every last one of you. Y'all have a great day, and we will catch y'all back in the morning for day number 58 in a row of streaming. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one.